Stand up, New York Giant fans. Number 26, jersey I got on right now. Back practicing with the New York Giants today. Of course, a lot of us were concerned about some of the things we had heard about a week ago when it came out, I think, for me and Rappaport, that Barkley may not be back until week 3. Now, nothing is definitive yet, but Barkley was on the practice field today. According to Jordan Renan, Joe Judge went even as far to say that he wouldn't rule out Barkley playing in a preseason game. So if there's a possibility that Barkley is going to potentially play in a preseason game, that would lead me to believe there's at least a pretty strong possibility that Saquon Barkley will at least be available in some capacity for week 1 against the Denver Broncos. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to get a full allotment of touches. That could mean that they ease him in, but just his presence on the field should definitely help the New York Giants going forward. He ran a number of wheel routes today. You saw him on the practice field. Looks like he's, I don't know about 100%, but he looks like he's at least getting closer to playing shape. So I think it's great news for the New York Giants. Obviously, we saw last year when Barkley was out of this lineup how stagnant the offense was. And it wasn't all just because Barkley was out of the lineup. We get it, right? There were other factors, the new scheme, the offensive line, everything else. But when Barkley's in the lineup, there's no denying it. Whether you think Barkley's a part of the long-term solution with this team or not, whether you're worried about his injury concerns or not, when Saquon Barkley is on the field, when he is healthy, he is a threat. He is somebody that you must game plan for. He is somebody that changes the complete dynamic of this New York Giants offense. And with him back in this lineup, there's no denying it. The New York Giants will have a much more, threatening offense to opposing defenses. So I think it was great to have Barkley back on the field today. Had an interview. Like he was very confident. Judge even went as far to say that, Barkley's been bugging him all offseason to be able to get back on the practice field. And you love to hear it. He's got a great work ethic, but it sounds like Barkley and the New York Giants are taking the necessary precautions to make sure that they're not rushing Barkley back out there. We'll talk about Barkley throughout the stream. Also, Golladay today, from what I read, was catching some passes as well. There's a potential injury to Ross. Didn't seem too serious. They said that he, I don't know. I think it was a little bit of a hamstring, they said. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys have more specifics with it. He didn't leave the field, but I guess he didn't continue to practice, according to Renan. We'll continue to monitor that as well. And, of course, O'Shane Ximines as well returned today from the PUP list for the New York Giants. So that's great news as well, getting him back, the third-year pro, a guy that a lot of us thought could take a huge step up last year for the New York Giants. Got hurt about 5 or 6 games in, never really got much of an opportunity last year. We'll see if he makes the team. But obviously the Giants can use as much help as they can at the pass rusher position. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. What's going on there, Dylan? What's going on there, J-Fed? What's going on there, Dustin? Thank you for popping in. Lake Nona Flickers. Word in the chat. JC Silva in the chat. Brian in the chat. Yeah, Rudolph is still out as well, from what I heard, JC Silva. Rudolph is still out as well. I'm sure he's still recovering from that foot injury, which we knew was going to be the case before the year started. Giants are probably easing him along. I'm going to trust the Giants doctors. They signed him even after they gave him a look. I think he'll more than likely be ready for week 1. But there's no guarantees. We'll have to wait and see. What's going on there, Andrew, man? What's going on, Donovan? What's going on there, Dyer, Giants fan? James in the chat, Joel in the chat, you're in the chat, Kaylin in the chat, Robert in the chat, Tom Lou in the chat, Bobby in the chat, Bill M, my man in the chat, NY Giants 26. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I'm ready to talk some New York Giants football. NY Giants 26. By the way, also, and, I'm going to do it in about an hour. I'm going to be giving away, and I want to give it away to somebody that could use them. So one of my subscribers reached out to me, said, "Chris, I can't go to the Fan Fest August, which is in 2 days, which I'm going to be at on Wednesday. I have extra tickets. I have 3 extra tickets, so I'm going to do that. But I want to give them away to someone that is actually going to go that needs the tickets. So we'll figure that out as the chat goes along. But that's something I'll do in about an hour. NY Giants 26, man. Thank you very much. It's game week. Finally, Saquon is back. Let's go. Yeah, and like I said at the top of the stream, man. With him in this lineup, it's a completely different offense. He's my favorite player. I never hide that. And, the proof's in the pudding. People could say whatever they want about Saquon Barkley. It seems like there's a lot of fans that are not super high on Saquon Barkley. And I get it with the injuries and everything else. But when he's on the field, Daniel Jones has been a completely different quarterback. Just look at the numbers. 23 touchdowns, I think 8 or 9 picks in the 10 games that Barkley's played from start to finish in Daniel Jones' career. He's got more interceptions than touchdowns in 16 games when Barkley has not played with him at the quarterback position. Now you factor in that you have a number 1 wide receiver in Kenny Golladay on the outside, a dynamic threat with Kenny Golladay. I'm sorry, with Kadarius Toney in the first round of this year's draft. That should only help Saquon Barkley this year with the New York Giants. But we'll see. But I'm excited, man. Give Saquon till week 4. We're not giving Saquon till week 4. There's no chance we're giving Saquon. We already knew. And Rappaport came out and said it week 3 at the latest. And I think he's gonna play week 1, based on what came out today. I just don't think he's gonna get a ton of touches. I think he's gonna be eased back in, especially with the short rest week. And this is just me speculating and guessing. But if I had to guess, I think Barkley will probably get, I don't know, 5 to 7, maybe 8, no more than 10 touches week 1, and then gradually get more and more as the season goes along. I think by week 3, if all things are good and there's no setbacks, I think Barkley will be getting his full allotment of touches. Now, what will his full allotment of touches be this year? That remains to be seen, right? Joe Judge comes from the Bill Belichick school of thought, running back by committee approach. And we'll see what the New York Giants ultimately decide to do in terms of whether or not he's going to be a bell cow running back, or they're going to use, obviously he'll be the main guy, but will be more of a platoon. And we'll see how that all plays out throughout the season. True Atlas, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Made myself a batch of mac and cheese of mac and cheese for this stream. That's awesome. I haven't had mac and cheese in a bit. I might have to have that tonight. Now you're getting me hungry, my man. Thanks for popping in the stream, True Atlas. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yuri says, don't forget where Joe Judge came from. He's playing mind tricks with opponents. I wouldn't rush Barkley. I'm with you on that. There's no doubt about it. I think a lot of Giants fans have been saying that all offseason, that you can't read too much into it one way or another. Judge isn't going to tip his hand. I am confident, though, that Barkley, I'm not going to say definitely, but it's definitely trending that way. And we could have setbacks in training camp. Who knows? But I think it's at least trending that he could have some kind of role with the New York Giants early on. I'm not saying it's going to be a full role the first couple of weeks, but I think he's going to be eased back onto the playing field. I personally, and like I said, you heard what Joe Judge had to say about Barkley and how he could potentially play in a preseason game. I personally do not think that's in the best intentions for Saquon Barkley. Now, if you want to get him out there just to get a little bit of contact in a game for a drive, all right, I get it, whatever. But I'm not putting him out there for more than maybe 2 or 3 carries in a preseason game. I'm not having that risk. Today, when he came back, it was a non-padded practice. I'm sure that this was calculated. I'm sure the New York Giants knew they were going to be bringing Barkley back, and they made it, kind of a soft day with the notepads, got him back into the groove. I think it'll be interesting to see when there's contact with pads how Barkley is obviously responding in practice, and that's going to be a major storyline for the New York Giants. Bukal, man, thank you very much. Hey, Dana, if we get a nice lead in the first 2 games, give Saquon time to ease in against the D-lines of Denver and Washington. I don't listen, especially week 1 against Denver, because you're playing Washington 3 days later. I don't expect the New York Giants to give Barkley 25 touches regardless of what the situation is in the game. I think they're going to use him sparingly. I think they'll use him in certain situations. That's just my guess. I don't think he's going to be a bell cow running back, though, really this entire year. I don't expect it. I think he's going to be used and used a good amount, but I don't expect him to get 25, 30 touches a game on average. I just don't. I think it could be, hopefully, a less is more situation where you get more production out of maybe 18 to 20 touches a game between catches and runs, that type of thing, maybe more of an Alvin Kamara type role. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he'll go out there, he'll be a complete bell cow, have 2,500 combined yards. And I would love to see that. But I think they're going to ease him along, especially early on in the season. That's just my prediction. In terms of getting out to an early lead, listen, I just want to win the games. And you can't take any lead for granted. You should know that as well as anybody as a New York Giant fan. And Mike, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Be smart. Let 26 eat. What's going on, Mike, man? Thanks for popping in this. He's going to play. I really think that. I really think after what came out today, I think he's playing week 1. And obviously, as Giants fans, you keep your fingers crossed and you hope the doctors know what they're talking about. And the New York Giants are doing the right thing by him. Listen, this is a long-term investment for the Giants, or at least they want it to be, right? Mara came out and has talked about that, they're not going to talk about an extension this year because Barkley's got to prove himself, but he wants him to be part of the long-term solution. The New York Giants invested a number 2 overall pick in this guy. Giants ain't looking to get rid of this guy. They want him to prove that he's worthy of that next contract, and they want to keep him. You don't spend a number 2 overall pick to let him go to free agency. I don't think that's the plan if he could provide that he's healthy and a big part of this football team, but that obviously remains to be seen this year. Matt, thank you very much. Garrett knows how to use running backs. He does. In the past, he does, but to be fair, he's also had much better offensive line, right? Offensive lines with those great Dallas Cowboys football teams. So this offensive line, major question mark. And a couple of days ago during the practice, that was like the huge headline that the offensive line was struggling mightily. Now, the people that were getting the bad write-ups more so than anyone else was the second unit. So the way I looked at that was, well, they kind of lost everybody, right? Two of their top guys from the second unit retired. So I'm not going to read too much into that, but obviously the offensive line is a major question mark. And if the O-line could provide decent blocking, yes, I do think that the Giants could have a strong run game. They had a strong run game last year over the last 8 games. They just didn't have any threat in the passing game. And I think Barkley not being there obviously had something to do with it. What's going on, Nations, man? Glad to see you, buddy. And Baldini, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, my guy, what's up? What is our O-line looking like? Any definite starters besides Thomas and Hernandez? Solder at right tackle, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Well, Baldini, I'll be the first to say I'm not at the practice. I can only tell you what I read. And it seems like it's been pretty consistent this entire offseason what the New York Giants are going to go with. That could change in preseason if somebody's really struggling. But to me, it sounds like at least right now it's going to be Thomas on the left side. You're going to have Matt Parrott on the right side. That's what it looks like at the tackle positions. It looks like you're going to have Will Hernandez and Shane Lemieux at the guards, and it looks like Nick Gates going to be back at that center spot. Hernandez, by all accounts, is shifting over to the right side. He's always played left guard throughout his career. They're going to keep Lemieux, from what I've heard, because they like the chemistry between Thomas and Lemieux on the left side. They must feel that Lemieux is going to be the left guard of their future, or at least they're hoping that. Obviously, a major question mark going into this year. The two major question marks on that line for me are obviously Parrott and Lemieux. I think Parrott looked pretty good in spurts, but he's still a major question mark for the New York Giants this year. So, and obviously Shane Lemieux is a major question mark, but I think that's your starting 5 going into the year. The Giants may look to bring somebody in, but I think it's more of a depth lineman. I don't think it's going to be a guy that's going to start for this football team at this point in time. The comeback will be used. What's up there, FG, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I say we go 8-9 or 9-8 with that O-line that is holding us back. Hopefully, yeah, Andrew, I don't want to – I hate, being like super confident about my team going into the year. I hate setting false expectations. I'm trying to stay grounded. And I'll tell you what, man, last night in my Discord, there was an app, and I just randomly picked wins and losses for every team in the league, and it's just for fun. I had the Giants winning the division. Washington's schedule is brutal. I had the Giants going 10-7. I did. I'm going to stick at 9-8, though. I'm going to be conservative going into the year, but I had them going 10-7. Let's see what we got here. Adam, man, thank you very much. NJ.com was saying the O-line has been awful in camp. DJ is basically being sacked almost every play. It's worrying. They seem to be regressing. It's camp, but yes, you're right. A lot of the bad reports, like I said, at least in the most recent one, was more so from the second line than the first. We've also had some injuries, right? Shane Lemieux hasn't been out there. But yes, it's definitely concerning. That's my major concern going into the year. And I think Giants fans should be concerned. We didn't address it. We let Zeitler go. They're banking on their second-year offensive lineman. And, I mean, as a fan, I don't agree with it. I'll be the first to say, if I'm being completely honest, I don't agree with the approach. You guys watch my channel. I don't know if you were subscribed to my channel, Adam, in the offseason, but people who watch my channel knew who I wanted. I wanted Rashawn Slater all the way. I thought they were going to take Devontae Smith going into the draft 100%. That's who I thought, and they would have, I think, had he been there, and I think he was going to be there. Obviously, the Eagles traded up, but I wanted Slater. That's who I wanted all the way. But that doesn't mean that I can't be proven wrong. That doesn't mean that us as fans can't be proven wrong. And as fans, we have to hope for the fans that thought that way. Not everybody thought the way that I did. We have to hope that we're proven wrong. And that these guys that they drafted 2 years ago, Shane Lemieux, Andrew Thomas, and Matt Parrott, take a major step up this year for the New York Giants offensive line as they continue to grow together. That's what they're banking on. That's what Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman banked on this year when they did what they did in the offseason. And I hope they're right. I really do. I'm praying that they're right. Connor, man, thank you very much, man. Can Matt Parrott play guard? He's going to play tackle. He's going to play tackle going into the year. That's what he's going to play. He's built to be a tackle. His arms are gigantic. He's got what has he got, like 30? He had the longest arms at the combine, whatever it was. It was over 34 inches, I think it was. He's built to be a tackle. He's not going to play guard. Interestingly enough, and this is not going to happen in the regular season, but I just thought it was interesting. The guard for the Giants, I think it was Hernandez, had a full start, and the Giants pulled him out and they put Solder at the guard. Now, I don't think that will not happen. I think that's more so an emergency situation. Maybe they're practicing for whatever it may be, but it was interesting to hear that Joe Judge actually played Solder at the guard, at least for a few snaps in practice the other day when they did pull Hernandez out. But again, I don't expect that to happen. MY Giants 26, man, thank you very much. Who will be out on the defense preseason week 1? That's a good question. Well, Martinez is now back from the COVID. I've heard nothing, no injuries in the secondary from what I've heard to my knowledge off the top of my head. It looks like Zimenez is back. Whether or not he plays in the first preseason game, we'll see. But I haven't heard, and maybe I'm forgetting, Ragland has been hurt, but he may be back. I'm not even 100% sure on that. I don't think any of the notable players for the Giants are going to be out for that game. Now, what Joe Judge came out and said today is they're basically going to handle that first preseason game like the fourth preseason game in a normal regular season when it's a traditional 4 preseason, meaning that none of the starters for the most part are going to play. And if they do play, it'll be very sparingly. It's going to be a lot of the back end guys trying to compete for this roster. That's what he basically came out and said. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Daniel Jones doesn't even take a snap for the New York Giants with their first preseason game against the New York Jets. If he does, it might be a drive or two, but I wouldn't even be shocked if he doesn't get any action at all in the first preseason game. I'm leaning that he will, but I wouldn't be shocked because Judge came out and said they're going to handle it like the fourth preseason game in a normal offseason. So we'll see what they ultimately decide to do, which I think is a good thing in a way. Obviously, you want Jones to get some rapport with his wide receivers. They'll probably use the second and the third game more so to do that. But obviously, you worry about injuries too, so you don't want your players getting hurt in the preseason. Bill, man, thank you very much, man. Any available or potentially available offensive lineman free agents you like as a replacement for Fulton and Looney, who should we target? Yeah, I mean, the only guy that, everybody talks about and I've talked about for months has been Ryder. In terms of like a big name offensive lineman that still may be out there in terms of an interior presence. DeCastro's another guy. I think what the Giants are going to do at this point in time, and this is just me guessing, I think they'll probably bring in a camp body. And there's been reports that they've already tried guys out. And Bill, man, thank you very much for the incredible generosity. I think they'll bring in a camp body. I think he'll play because obviously you need bodies, right? You need guys with the second unit, even if they're not even going to make the team. And this is just me speculating and guessing. I think the Giants are going to pick somebody up late in the process because every team around the league is going to be cutting guys late into the process. And I think the Giants, a guy that just misses the roster on said team, I think the Giants will pick a guy that they like, and that guy will provide his depth for the New York Giants. That's my guess. I think that's what they're ultimately going to end up doing at this point in time, unless they're blown away with some of the, undrafted free agents on their roster on the offensive line. But if they're going to bring in somebody that could really, at least provide as a valuable backup for this team, I think they wait it out. And I think they wait to see some guys that just miss out on another roster, and they look to bring them in here. That's just my guess. But Bill, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it, buddy. And Jason, man, thank you very much. Apparently they had sold her at left. Yeah, I just said that. Yep. They apparently had sold her at left guard a while ago after Hernandez was performing. Yeah, Hernandez had a full start, and they quickly put Solder in there. I don't know how many reps it was for. It sounded like it wasn't for that long of a period of time. I think it's just probably, training for any scenario that could happen. That sounds like that's what Joe Judge is doing, right? He's played paired at the left tackle at times in camp. We know that's not going to happen in the regular season. We know Thomas is going to be the left tackle, but it's cross-training. It's getting guys acclimated to situations that maybe they can be pressed into in an emergency situation. I think that's kind of what that was. I'd be very surprised if Nate Solder, a guy who's never played guard in the NFL, would play guard at any point this year outside of an emergency situation. I'd be very surprised. But Jason, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. I think they're going with what they got at the guard. I really do. I think they're going with what they got at the guard. And I just pressed something. I don't know what I just did. Let's see what we got. And NY Giants 26 should be looking for free agent offensive lineman DeCastro. Yeah. I just mentioned DeCastro. I mean, I'd be completely for him. The thing I've talked about with Ryder, who's the guy that I've really talked about a lot, that I would love to see go to the New York Giants. If I'm him, you're talking about a guy that started each of the last 2 years. You're talking about a guy that's won a Super Bowl. Arguably the guy that was the best offensive lineman on the Chiefs last year. Not that that's saying much, but by all accounts, he had a pretty solid year. You talk to Chiefs fans, they say he sucked, but he was also dealing with 2 new guards on that offensive line. And if you're Ryder, obviously you have some pride. You feel like you're a starter in the NFL. And if the Giants are not offering him a starting position, which I think is entirely possible, they're obviously very committed to these young players on this offensive line. He may say, I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to see if there's injuries with other teams, and I'm going to sign on there. So I think that's kind of a potentially at least a waiting situation with those players looking to get a guaranteed starting position, which is why I think the Giants probably haven't signed those guys yet. I think they're going to wait until, like I said, late in the process, and I can't give you a name. I don't know who it'll be, but I think they'll bring somebody in late in the process after the teams start to make their cuts to get down to the final 53. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. I don't think they're going to bring in a starter. I think they're going with the guys they got in terms of the starters. I really do on the offensive line. Janice, thank you very much. Hi, Chris and gang. This is my first time on your channel. I am subscribed. Well, I appreciate that, Janice. Thank you very much. I am hoping all the best for Saquon. Go Giants. Janice, thank you very much. Hey, Saquon's my favorite player. And I think he's outside of the offensive line, I think he's the most important player in this offense. And that includes Daniel Jones. Obviously, the quarterback's the most important position, but I think a healthy Saquon Barkley makes Daniel Jones' life so much easier, and could really take this offense to the next level. And I think if the Giants want to have an average to slightly above average offense this year, they need Saquon Barkley to be back in rookie form. And I think it's entirely possible. You're talking about a guy that is built like a machine. And I know, like, on Twitter today, I think it was Alex Wilson tweeted that one of Saquon Barkley's legs looked like it was a little bit smaller than another, and people were going crazy about it. And some people said it might have been the angle. I don't know. Here's what I say to that. Saquon Barkley, even if one of his legs is smaller than the other, it's still 5 times the size of anybody else on this team. I'm not worried about Saquon Barkley's physique. I think he's going to be completely fine in that department. Obviously, you worry about re-aggravating an injury, but I'm excited to have him back on the football field. And he's a great guy, and he's a guy I'm really rooting for this year. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And welcome aboard. Allison, thank you very much. Hey, Chris, who do you think makes the 53 for the wide receiver? Allison, I hope you have fun at the preseason games. I know you told me you were going to the New England game and I think the Cleveland game, if I'm not mistaken. So I hope you have fun at that. But as far as who I think they go with 6. Last year they went with 5. I think they go with 6 this year. And this is just me guessing. I think Russ is going to make the team, unless this injury that they're talking about today, which sounds very minor, has anything to it. But if he stays healthy through camp, I think Russ will be your 5. We obviously know the top 4: Tony, Slayton, Shepard, and Galladay. I think Russ will be your 5. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this, and you're picking straws. And some people will say, Dante Pettis, who could definitely make the team. Some people might say David Sills, who's a fan favorite and a guy that a lot of people want to make the team, a guy I'm rooting for. He's worked his butt off the last 3 years to make the practice squad for the Giants. We got a coach in Joe Judge that hammers home special teams. We've got a guy on this team at CJ Board who, by all accounts, is very good in that department. I think he's going to make the team. If I had to guess, I think CJ Board is going to be the 6th wide receiver for the New York Giants. I think they will go with 6, and I'm going with Board. I know most people are rooting for Sills or Dante Pettis. I'm going to go with Board. Will be the 6th wide receiver. Blue Collar, man, thank you very much. We rotated O-line a lot last year. It goes against continuity, but gives you fresh legs. We did it with the rookies. Do you think they will continue? I hope not, to be completely honest with you, Blue Collar. Last year, even though I was against it, you were in my streams. You know that I quickly was like, okay, I could deal with it when I started to see the offensive line started to perform better. But like you said, it's all about continuity. And as a Giants fan, that's what we want to see. That's what we keep talking about with this offensive line. They brought the same guys back, continuity, continue to grow and build together. You can't get better unless it's not like musical chairs. You shouldn't be doing it. So I don't want them to do it. Last year, I think it was more understandable because you had rookies on the team. You knew guys like Kevin Zeitler, even though Zeitler wasn't really being subbed out. You knew guys like Cam Fleming weren't really going to be a part of the future of this team. So you wanted to give guys as much exposure as you possibly can, the young guys, because you knew they were going to be a part of the future of this football team. And I think that's how Joe Judge operated last year. I think it was about the future. It was about building these young players up, knowing that when the Giants get to where they need to be, these guys are going to be a big part of the team. So that's the way I looked at that last year. This year, I don't want them doing that. I want them leaving those guys in those roles that they feel best fit. I don't think that's a good idea on the offensive line, if I'm being completely honest with you. But we'll see. We'll roll with it. Obviously, Joe Judge has different methods than a lot of coaches in the NFL. But, yeah, that was definitely something, I guess, questionable last year. But I think last year it made more sense due to the fact that you had all the rookies on the football team. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Hope you're doing well, Blue Collar. Josh, my man, he says he's back. Yeah, he is. And I'm going to do a Saquon play-by-play real quick. And here we go. New York Giants on the Washington 32-yard line. Saquon Barkley lining up in the backfield. Daniel Jones coming out in the shotgun formation. He's going to motion Sterling Shepard out wide left. Jones takes the snap. Barkley on a wheel route. He's going to hit Barkley out in the flat. Makes a man miss at the 30. Jukes him at the 25. Down the sideline to the 20. Stiff arm at the 15. To the 10. To the 5. Touchdown, New York Giants. I hope I get to say that a million times this year. I'm so excited that Saquon Barkley is back with the New York Giants. Completely changes this offense. What's up, Authentic Man? What's going on there? Elmo Man, thanks for popping in. What's up there, Afonte Man? What's going on there? Queasy, thanks for popping in the stream, my man. What's up, Eddie? Let's see what we got. And Jordan, man, thank you very much. I believe in Matt Barrett. Hey, man, listen, man. I think most Giant fans seem to be optimistic with Matt Barrett. He's clearly a guy with upside. He's clearly a guy that most people felt should have been a back-end second, early third when you went back and looked at the draft when we got him at 99th overall. we'll see. You know, I'm not convinced on the guy. He didn't play enough last year. He showed spurts of being good. He showed spurts of being bad. But to be fair, the game where he looked really bad, I think it was against the Ravens, where I think he surrendered like 3 sacks in a row. I mean, to be fair, Daniel Jones was hobbling. He was half a quarterback at that point in time coming off the injury. The New York Giants had no threat on offense. We were getting blitzed every single play. I think I hope at least, could be a solid tackle. And I'm going to put my trust in Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman. They're the guys that made that decision. They're paid to make that decision. And I just hope they're right, man. I just hope they're right. Wolves, man, thank you very much. Chris, am I seeing you at the Mets game tomorrow? I don't think I'll be at I might be, but I'm not. Don't bank on that. I'm not going to guarantee I'll be at a Mets game tomorrow. But if I am, I'll let you know. But I am going to be at Giants Stadium in 2 days. MY Giants 26, man, thank you very much. New away pants, Giants Twitter. I'll take a quick look now. Let me see. I'm guessing. All right, I'll look real quick for you. Let me see what their new away pants look like. Let's see what the new unis look like, guys. New York Giants. I'll show them on the in the chat. So they're all white. They're all white with a red stripe on the side, with a blue stripe in the middle. I like it. I like it. It's pretty solid. Let's show it to the chat real quick. Let me share my screen. Chrome tab. Share. What do you guys think? Right? Let me see if I can zoom in on this. There you go. There's the I guess there's the 2021 uniforms for the New York Giants. So there you go. There's your New York Giants uniforms this year that he was referring to. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's get rid of that. And thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. And let's see what we got here. Hey, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says Wesley Steinberg has been great this. He's doing a great job, isn't he? Funniest guy on Twitter, Wes. Gotta love Wes. What's up there, Dimitri, man? Thanks for popping in. Het, man, thank you very much. He breaks everything. Let's see. He's the new. What was that guy? I always forget the name. Who was the guy when we were doing the free agency stream 2 years ago that everybody was going crazy about? That was a fake reporter. What was his name? Bill Goldberg. Wes is the new Goldberg, but he's 10 times as good. And Rudy, man, thank you very much. You're literally my favorite NFL commentator. Rudy, man, I really appreciate. Rudy's the man. Glad to have you back in the streams, man. I know you're a diehard Giant fan. I know you can't wait for preseason. And let's talk a little bit about that as well. I am not gonna be able to call that game, unfortunately. I will be calling every other Giant game that I'm not going to this year after that. But let's talk about that game. Obviously, there's not gonna be a lot to it in terms of whether we win or lose. Who cares? And just get out of there healthy. But the things I'm looking for in that game, like I've said in the past. And we'll see who plays because, like I said, Joe Judge said he's going to operate as if it's a 4th preseason game. But what I'm looking for in that game is the offensive line. And Tony, I want to see how they utilize Tony, whether it be kick return, punt returns. But to me, the big thing is the offensive line. If the first unit's out there, I want to see how they play with one another. And who knows if they're going to get really tested. You don't know if they are out there, if they're even going up against the first unit defense. But that's what I'm going to be looking at. I very much doubt, obviously, that Galladay's going to play. Barkley's not going to play. You're going to have a very vanilla offense going out against the New York Jets. But get out of there healthy. And, yeah, the offensive line is really what I'll be looking at. I'm sure that'll be what draws the headlines, whether if they play good or bad in that football game. But I can't wait till it gets going, man. And the offensive line is what I'm looking at. I might be going to the Jets. It's awesome, Evan, man. I hope you have a good time, buddy. What's up there, Nona, man? I already said hello to Nona 3 times probably. I just see names and I say what's up because I don't like to miss anybody. But again, man, thank you to everybody for being here. I'm going to give away 3 FanFest tickets. And again, I want it to be somebody that could go. So it might not even be like a trivia question. I just want it to be somebody that could go to the game. And I know go to the FanFest rather, which is 2 days from now, 6 o'clock Wednesday. So one of my subscribers reached out to me and said, Chris, can you give this away? So I don't know how many people in here either already have them or can't go out of state. So I don't want to just give it to somebody who can't actually go to the thing. So, but if anybody is looking for tickets, I have 3 extras. So we'll figure it out on the stream, man. What's up there, Simple Man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's up there, Jalen Man? Thanks for popping in. What's going on there, Simple? Do you think Daniel Jones plays? Do I think Daniel Jones plays? I think Daniel Jones, I'm leaning yes, but I think it's only 1 drive. I don't even think he plays a quarter. I think it's very limited, his first preseason game. And like I said, he's not even going to have all of his weapons in that game. And it's going to be a vanilla playbook. So you're not even going to be able to get much of a read on him in that game. Would I like to see Jones throw a couple balls to Tony in an ideal situation? Sure. But I think it'll be very limited. I think maybe a series. I don't even think it'll be a quarter. What's up there, Jared, man? Thanks for popping in. Chris, can I also give away mine? I have 3 extras and I live in Connecticut, so I can't make it. Toasty, you know what I'll do? I'll post it on Twitter. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post it on Twitter. Just message me on Twitter. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but if you do, message me on Twitter, and I'll post it on Twitter. And somebody that needs them, will connect it and get a Giants fan to the game that needs them. So, yeah, just message me on Twitter. What's going on there, PJ, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Where will the Giants? I mean, I've talked about this in the past, but I think it's going to be no worse than top 10. And I'm trending towards top 5. I'll say, if we're being conservative, I'll say 7 or 8, but I definitely think we could be a top 5 defense this year. I really do. Our schedule, outside of a couple of really good offenses, doesn't really scare me. Obviously, Cowboys got a good offense twice. Obviously, the Bucs have a good offense. Obviously, the Chiefs have a good offense, but nobody else really scares me. Look at the quarterbacks we're going up against outside of that. So I think Giants are going to have a good defense this year, especially with the addition of Adoree Jackson. So I'll go top 7 or 8 if I'm being conservative, but I definitely think top 5 is possible. Need to see Zimenez back. Hope he gets picked. Zimenez to me, and I've talked about this. I've talked about this. Zimenez to me could be a surprise cut for this team. We'll see how he plays when he gets back at camp now that he's back. I hope he makes the team. He's obviously a 3rd-round pick from the Giants 3 years ago, so we're rooting for him. He's a guy we had high hopes for last year. I think he'll make the team, but I wouldn't be shocked if he gets cut, and I definitely don't think he's going to start for the Giants. Yeah, depending on Lorenzo Carter, I guess it's possible. JD, man, thank you very much. Knicks win, Barkley back. My day is complete. What's up, JD? Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the Knicks game. I did see that Quickly had a nice step-back jumper. He looked horrible yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch see the box score. I did tape the game, so I'll probably watch it later. Sims looked great yesterday for the Knicks. Jericho Sims. What's up there, Guts, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. My boy David Sills is no. Wide receiver 4? No. Kadarius Toney right now is your wide receiver 4. Maybe the wide receiver 6. I can't see a wide receiver 4. Anthony says we're going 11-6. I hope so, man. True Apple says, hear me out, Chris. 4-1. Our first 5 games, win versus Broncos, loss versus Washington, win versus the Saints and Falcons, upset the Cowboys away. I think, my whole mind has been 3-2 from the start. I want them to start 3-2. Obviously, I want them to start 5-0, but 3-2 I think is realistic. I think we could do that, and that's my goal going into the year. I want to get off to a 2-1 start over the first 3, 3-2 start over the first 5. And then when you look at the back end of our schedule, I think there's a lot of winnable games. Obviously, we play the Eagles twice, which should be the most winnable team in our division this year, at least in my opinion. I don't think the Dolphins are as good as people make them out to be. I think we could win that game. Carolina doesn't really scare me. The Raiders don't really scare me. Both those games are at home. So let's get off to a 3-2 start, and let's take it one game at a time. That's the goal for me going into the year. Win 3 out of the first 5, and I think that really sets us up nicely to have a real opportunity to win this division this year. But 3 out of the first 5, I'm hoping, obviously, for 5 out of the first 5. What's up, James, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. We got to be able to stop Fitz. Does Fitz really scare you? And by no means am I knocking Fitz, but does he scare you? I mean, who scares me on Washington is that defense, that defensive line. It's not Fitz. That's what scares me. I'm not scared of Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Fitzpatrick, I don't know if you realize, Fitzpatrick is 5,000 years old, and he's never made the playoffs in his career. He doesn't scare me. I mean, he's had good moments. He doesn't scare me. And what's going on there, AB, man? What's going on there, Mike, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. Hi, Chris. I'm going to start. I missed that, man. Fitz, yeah, he's a good, bad schedule quarterback. Exactly. Chris, this is No Limit TV. I changed my... What's going on, Simple, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. We've beaten Fitz before when he was on the Bucs. That was... Yeah. And that season is a perfect, I think, that's what Fitz is all about. Going into that game, if you remember Afghanistan, Fitzpatrick had the best QB rating in football, and then he threw 4 picks in that game. He's a completely unpredictable quarterback. You never know what you're going to get with him. And I think we can take advantage of him. I'm not scared of Fitzpatrick. I'm really not. And Greg, man, thank you very much, man. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, my man. I'm not saying he can't have a really good game. He can, but he's not a guy that scares me. Giants fans will be crying when we're 2-7 to start the year then folks will be making excuses again. I'm going to tell you right now, Giants start 2-7. You're not getting an excuse out of me. I don't expect 2-7. If they start 2-7, you're starting over. Gettleman's gone. And Joe, unless obviously they finish the year 9-8 or 8-9 or something, and they have a really strong finish, you're starting over. So no, I think most Giant fans this year, like last year, I think there was a reason to have excuses. There was perfectly logical reasons to have excuses last year. I don't even think it's excuses. I just think it's common sense. Pandemic, new coach, didn't have time to prepare, quarterback in a new scheme, 3 new offensive linemen who had never played their positions before. You have none of that this year. You have the same offensive line coming back. You have Saquon Barkley back from injury. You now signed Kenny Golladay. You drafted Kadarius Toney. Jones in the same scheme for the second year. The head coach is back. He had a full offseason to prepare. You don't have those excuses this year. There's higher expectations this year. 2-7 ain't going to cut it. True Atlas, man, thank you very much. All it takes is a cold Fitz outing to it. Yeah, exactly. He could definitely blow. He could definitely blow games for you. Got to start in 2-1. What's up there, Ms. Riley, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Will you be streaming at fan? I mean, I haven't decided. I mean, I'm going to be on Bobby and Justin's channel. I don't know if it's going to be live. It might be pre-recorded, and they're going to post it after. I'm not sure on that. And I haven't decided if I'm going to go live or if it's going to be like a vlog type thing, and maybe I post something on the channel. I haven't decided yet. If I do go live, it'll be like, sparingly. I don't think it's going to be like more than like 20 or 30 minutes just to show maybe the inside of the stadium or something like that. I'm going to kind of try to enjoy myself with, with the fans and with, watching the Giants. But if I do, it'll be a little thing. If not, I'll do like a vlog video type thing. Rodarius Williams will be the star of preseason. Well, so far he has been, Rogue. So far, Rodarius Williams has been. I think Rodarius Williams, to me, I think has a legitimate chance to be the primary backup corner on this Giants football team. We'll see, but he's been getting rave reviews at training camp so far. So far, he has been the standout at Giants training camp. Not will be. He has been. People think the Giants are going to be under 500. I mean, you never know. Football is completely unpredictable. Like, we could go into the year with our predictions, and we could say this team's going to do this team's going to do that. You never know. Football is a game of injuries. You don't know. You don't know, not just for the Giants, but for the teams we're going to play. Like right now, you may look at the schedule and you might say, there's no way we're going to beat the Bucs. Well, what if Tom Brady's hurt? There's no way you're going to beat the Chiefs. Well, what if Tyreek Hill gets hurt? Things change on a week-to-week basis. It's a very unpredictable game. You can't really predict the schedule. You take it 1 week at a time. Obviously, we got to get off to a good start. As I've said in the past, the Giants over the last 3 years, in their first 3 games over the last 8 years, rather, they were combined 8-24. That's a 25% winning percentage. And they've only won 1 time their first game of the year since I think 2010. And that was 2016 when we made the playoffs. We've only had 1-2-1 start since 2010. And that was 2016, the last time we made the playoffs. If you look at the chart in terms of, historically speaking, the team that wins their first game has a 54% chance to make the playoffs. The team that loses has a 25% chance to make the playoffs. So history's on your side if you get off to a good start. So I think it's imperative for the Giants this year to get off to. And when you factor in my opinion at least, it's probably the weakest part of their schedule outside of the division. The Broncos home, they're traveling across the country. The Falcons, they don't scare me. So they have to get off to, I think, a 2-1 start. Wolves, man, thank you very much. The Giants must change their ways to color rush. I mean, I'm with you on that, Wolves. I think the color rush is one of the best jerseys in football. I absolutely love the New York Giants color rush. So I'm completely with you on that, man. What is your predicted record? I'm going to say 9-8. I've got us at 9-8. I'm going to be concerned. My heart wants to say 10-7. I'm going to go 9-8. I'm going to say, again, it's a guess game. I was lucky last year. I guess 6-10. I was right. I have them between 8 and 10 wins. So I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to go at 9-8. That's what I'm going to go at. I really want to pick 10, but I'm going to go with 9. Damien, man, thank you very much. If the Giants lose a game, I shave my head. So if the Giants don't go 17-0, you're shaving your head. I'm gonna tell you what, Damien. I'll set you up right now. I'll get you a razor blade now. I'll give you a good recommendation. I use the Quattro. Sometimes I use the Harry's from Target. I've gotten that before as well. I'll set you up right now. Because you will be shaving your head. And Papa, man, thank you very much. No injuries going playoffs. Period. I mean, if we stay completely healthy, which is not going to happen. Football, there's injuries. It happens. Yeah, we'll make the playoffs. That'll be my prediction. If nobody gets hurt, yeah, we'll make the playoffs. In terms of nobody significant, yeah, I think we stand a very good chance to make the playoffs. Brandon, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Remember this, chat, when Adoree pick 6 is lock week 1. Hey, man, I hope so. Listen, Adoree Jackson to me is the breakout player in this defense this year. I think he's the X factor to whether or not the New York Giants have an elite defense. If he plays at a very high level, the New York Giants defense is going to be filthy. It's going to be absolutely disgustingly good. If Adoree Jackson is a top 15 corner this year, it's going to be a ridiculous defense. And Will, man, thank you very much, man. I love the new white pants for the. Yeah, I was just looking at it, Will. For the away unis, I hope all is well, my friend. What's going on, Will, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. And yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. The Giants changed up their uniforms a bit since I've been on YouTube. My subscribers ask me all the time, what do the New York Giants need to do to change their uniforms? Because people are bored with it. They want change. I don't really, I don't hate our uniforms. I say it all the time, but I get it. You want something different. I personally like the throwbacks. I mean, obviously, I like the color rush, and I really like the old helmets. I like the Giants on the helmet. I really do. When I was a kid, and I say this all the time, when the Giants changed to what they have now with the NY symbol, I was like, that's awesome. But now that I've had it for so long and I see the old one, I'm like, I kind of like that one better. So I like the retro look a little bit. What's up, Sasquatch, man? Thanks for popping in. Looks like I'm going solo in the first preseason game. I'm coming to Florida for the weekend. Anyone have tickets? Burning a hole in their pot. What's up, Greg? Bring back Giants logo on that. I like it, Ryan. I'm with you on that. Let's see what we got here. And Afghanistan says, I'd have Ingram on a very short leash this year. My tolerance is at next to 0 with that dude. I wish he was gone, honestly. Well, the first thing I'm going to say to you, Afghanistan, there's about 600 people in the chat. I think you speak for about 587 of them. I think most Giant fans are not, they're done with Ingram. I think that's most Giant fans. And maybe in the end, I'll be completely wrong. And Jake asked me my sleeper, and I don't want to do it. People have asked me this before. He is my sleeper. He is my sleeper, and he's probably going to make me look like a fool. He's probably going to make me look like a fool. It's not why it's why I'm not going to fully commit to it. But given Ingram's situation, contract year, a lot more help around him. Defenses are going to focus a lot more on Barkley, on the wide receivers on the outside, Tony coming across the middle. I think Ingram's going to have a lot of mismatches. And if he can hold on to the ball, I think he's going to be able to take advantage of it. Last year, he was really the number one threat in the passing game. Maybe I'm probably going to look like a fool. I'll be the first to say it. He's my sleeper pick this year. He is. He's my sleeper pick this year. Let's see. I'm not going there. He's not having 1,000 yards, but I think he could have an efficient year. Let's put it that way. Ingram Court. Yeah, he was horrible last year, Wesley. What's your take on the lack of respect for the Giants in the media? I think it's lazy reporting based on who they've been, not who they are now. The team is tremendously improved, I think. I mean, listen, I think some of it may have some validity. Everybody has their own opinion, right? It's why I'm not going to bash, even though I disagree with it. It's why I'm not going to bash Jeff Schwartz. He's a former player. He legitimately probably has that opinion. That's his opinion. He doesn't like the way that he's not even in the media, right? I think he's just a guy that tweets. I just happen to disagree with it. Now, people who say that the media is not at fault, well, you're lying to yourself in certain instances. The media absolutely at times needs to create stories. So they'll go out of their way to make a big deal out of something that probably shouldn't even be talked about. And a perfect example of that is the Jason Garrett thing about a week ago. The way that Jason Garrett approached the media. And at the end of it where he said, they call me coach, they blew that out of proportion. They tried to make Garrett look like a bad guy. And there's a lot of other scenarios where I could point to it. So it's their job to create drama. It's their job to get clicks. That's the way I look at the media. Take it for what you will. Sometimes you're going to agree with their opinion. Sometimes you're not. Just like me. I'm sure there's times you watch my videos, you're like, yeah, Chris doesn't know what he's talking about. So, but sometimes I think they're looking for clicks. Let's put it that way. Darius Slayton, very quiet, good or bad thing? I've heard some good things about Slayton, actually, but you're not hearing every single day. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to judge any of these players really until I see them in the regular season. I've learned this since I've been on YouTube. Obviously, Damien says, Chris, I'm never wrong. All right, well, then you're going to have hair. The Giants are going to go 17-0. What was that? I forgot what I was going to say. Damn, I forgot what I was going to say. I always do that because I see another comment, I jump. I'll get back to it. And Mike, man, thank you very much. 26's lower half thicker than ever before, all the way down to his ankles. 26 is going to be a beast. If he stays healthy, he's going to be a beast. We all know that. If he stays healthy and he's himself, he's going to be really good. He's going to be a threat. He's going to open up the passing game. Question is, can he stay healthy? You were talking about getting yes. Yeah, so authentic. Before I was on YouTube, I'd pay attention. I'm a diehard Giants fan. I would pay attention to the preseason, but I wouldn't pay attention to it, I guess, as closely, right? So you would hear things here and there. You get ready for, you get really into the preseason games, blah, 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 blah. But what I've learned since I've been on YouTube is things get blown up, both good and bad. I say it all the time. I think back to 2019 when you had Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones came in as the rookie, and all you heard about all training camp, oh my God, Eli Manning, this is the best training camp this guy's had in his entire career. And the guy was, the guy got replaced 2 weeks into the season. So I don't, and last year, right? And that's why I didn't make a video on it this year. Last year, everybody made such a big deal about Daniel Jones looking jacked in training camp. They said, his arms are so big. And the same thing happened this year when they were talking about how fit the guy looked. It means nothing to me. Show it to me on the field week 1. You're going to get stories about certain players when there's nothing to talk about, and some people are going to run with it. Some people are going to get overly excited. Some people are going to overreact. I'm going to stay in the middle. The way I look at the offseason is even keel, stay healthy, get some chemistry. Obviously, you like hearing good things, but don't go crazy about it. Wait till the regular season to truly judge your team. And John, man, thank you very much, man. John, glad to see you, buddy. I got to get you on the channel soon. Probably in a week or two, I want to start having subscribers call in. Maybe doing that bi-weekly. I don't know. And I'll reach out to you on Twitter. Maybe I'll get you on. Says, Garrett's story was much ado about nothing. Same with Judge working players too. Our Giants have become national media punching bag elevator music. Hey, John, at the end of the day, we're an easy target. We know that. New York, big sport. It's the sports capital of the world. I mean, at least in America. Let's be real. The most passionate fans are in New York. The media knows that. They know when they make a story, and it's why ESPN trolls us all the time, whether it's the Knicks, whether it's the Giants, whatever it may be. And sometimes there's validity behind their opinions. Don't get me wrong. People in the media and ESPN have every right to think the Giants are going to stink. We won 15 games over our last 3 years. But do I think they go out of their way to take a dig at Giants fans and at Knicks fans from time to time? 100%. I think it sells headlines. I think it gets clicks. There's a reason that they don't look at places like Tennessee as much as they will New York, because there's more people that care about it. Crimson, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Can't wait for FanFest. Hope to see you. I hope to see you too, Crimson, man. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get to see all you guys. I'm looking forward to meeting Bobby and Justin. I'm looking forward to meet everybody. I think it's gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And James, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, if Ingram didn't work with a hypnotist this offseason, he's going to let you down. James, I already know. That's why I haven't made a video on it. It's why I'm not super outspoken about it. But I can't lie to you guys. I have to tell you in my head, I'm like, yeah, I could see it. And he's probably, and I already know he's going to let me down again. But it's just how I feel. I'm going to tell you, the two guys on this offense that I think need to have big games week 1 if the Giants are going to win. Because I'm not even going to count Barkley, because I think Barkley's going to have a limited role week 1. I think he's trending that he's going to play, but I think he's going to have a limited role. The two guys that have to have a big game for the Giants in terms of the skill positions week 1, because you look at the corner play, and we'll take away the running back position, because we all agree they have to run, right? You have Devontae Booker, so on and so forth. They have to run against that Denver team with their great secondary. But in terms of the passing game, the two players that have to stand out in that game and have to do a little bit more, maybe more so than other games, I think it's Evan Ingram, and I think it's Kadarius Toney, because you look at the corners on that team, they're gonna lock us down. Their corners are really good. Okay, so I think we're going to struggle. I think our receivers are going to struggle to create separation. I think it's going to be a grinded-out football game, but I do think Ingram could present a mismatch over the middle of the field. And I do think that Toney, if he's used in a creative way, could create big plays for Giants in that game as well. Also, Daniel Jones' legs, I could see being a big factor in that game as well. And I want to make sure I didn't miss one. Hold on one second. Max, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hope all's well. Wish I could see y'all at FanFest. Have a good time and get hype for me. Will Shep be a New York Giant next season, in your opinion? No. And I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man, for all the support, Max. I'm looking forward to getting to meet you one of these days, and I wish you could be there. But, yeah, I mean, my quick answer to you is no. I love Sterling Shepard. I wish he was a lifetime Giant. I just don't see it. I don't see it in the budget with the money that he makes, with the money that we're strapped for cash next year after we backloaded all his salaries. You drafted Kadarius Toney. He seems like a natural fit to replace Shepard in the slot. I don't see it. I think Sterling Shepard will not be with the New York Giants after this year. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll have an incredible year, and the New York Giants will have to find a way to keep him on this football team. And I hope he does. But if you're asking me right now, much like I thought about Dalvin Tomlinson going into last year that I didn't think he'd be on the team this year. It's the same thing for Shepard. I do not think Shepard will be a New York Giant in 2022. Thomas, man, thank you very much. Do you think Sills can make the 53-man roster? And how many wide receivers do you think will take this year? And who do you think they will be? Okay, here's what I'm going to say. First thing I'm going to say, Thomas, if there's injuries, he under 100%, I think will make the 53-man roster. Like if Golladay, for some reason, is unable to go week 1, or if Ross gets hurt, all of that could happen. But if everybody stays completely healthy at the position, I think the Giants are going with 6, and I think he's got a good shot. I do. I'm not picking him, but I think he's got a good shot. I'm going with Borg because of his special teams. He's known for good special teams, and I think Judge will value that. That's just my prediction, though. It could be Pettis or it could be Sills, like you said. I know he's a guy a lot of people are rooting for. He'd help in the red zone. He's also a former quarterback. You could get creative with him maybe from time to time. And at a bare minimum, if he doesn't get picked up by somebody else, I'm sure he'll be on the practice squad. And I think he's got a pretty good shot. I think he's got a much – here's what I'll say about Sills. I think Sills has a much better shot than I would have thought 2 months ago, based off the things I've been hearing in training camp. I think he has a legitimate shot to make this team. 2 months ago, I would have told you after what I saw them do in the offseason, I would have said I don't think he has any shot or very, very little shot. He's got a much better shot, I think, than I would have thought 2 months ago. He should have made the team last year, and he got hurt with a week before they made the roster. Let's see what we got here. Are you streaming? Bavit, I haven't decided yet, actually, if I'm streaming today. But it's good to see you. It's good to see you, Bavit. I'll let you know if I'm going to stream. And if I am going to stream, I'm thinking about doing the Giants. But Bavit, I'm glad to see you, buddy. Hey, Chris, I heard Ingram having a really nice training camp. Chris, I think he could be big for us. Yeah, I mean, I talked about him earlier in the stream. I'm not reading anything in the training camp for anybody, so that has nothing to do with it for me. But I do think he's going to be presented, if he can stay healthy, with a very good opportunity, let's put it this way, to take advantage of mismatches against opposing defenses with all the help he has around him this year. Whether or not he could hold on to the ball, whether or not we could sustain blocks, that remains to be seen. But I think he's being put in a good spot to succeed this year. Let's put it that way. Do you think Ingram will if he's on the floor, if he's on the field, hopefully he catches the ball. He might not play. You sent the tickets over to me on Twitter. Okay, Toasty. Yeah, I'll put it on Twitter. I just feel like that's easier. I'll put out a tweet, and anybody that wants to go to the game, I'll do it tonight. Not the game, or the Fan Fest. I'll have you guys get in contact with them, and you could send it over to their email. It's pretty easy. I did it last night with somebody, so I think that's what I'll do rather than doing a giveaway, because I want to make sure it gets in the hands of somebody that really, really wants to go and can go to the event. Let's see what we got here. Chris hates I hate. Well, no, I don't hate training camp. I'm excited for training camp, but I don't overreact to training camp. It's training camp. What is it? It means nothing to me. 2019, we went 4-0 in the preseason. We won 5 games. We won almost as many games in the preseason as we did in the regular season. It means absolutely nothing to me. Regular season, that's where it starts to matter. So, yeah. Let's see. So, is there going to be a scrimmage at FanFest, or is it a light practice? I'm assuming it's a practice. I don't know that for a fact, sports influencer, but I'm assuming it's a practice. I think it's going to be like a traditional training camp if you were to go, obviously with more bells and whistles. Former players, fireworks at the end, so on and so forth at the stadium. That's just my guess, but I don't know. Who are you most excited to watch on offense and defense in the preseason? Outside of the offensive line, Kadarius Toney is who I'm most excited to see in the offense. Barkley, we know what we got. Golladay, we know what we got. I'm excited to see how they utilize Toney, even though you're not going to get the full picture with him until the season starts. But Toney, I guess, and on defense, I guess I'll go with with Dory Jackson if he plays at all. Azeez Ojulari, that's what I'll go with on both sides of the ball. The newer guys. Hey, Chris, do you think Derek Dillon? No, I do not think he'll make the team. I'd be shocked. How do you feel about teams feel the Jag? That's not. I can't believe that he's even potentially available. He was a top 10 pick. He was 9th overall to the Jaguars. And that was a little bit of a surprise of a pick 2 years ago. I don't think many people had him going top 10, but still, you're talking about a top 10 pick. I'm surprised that that's even possible, that they would even make him available via trade. Now, from what I read, the Jaguars like their cornerbacks. We're not doing it. Obviously, we're strong at the cornerback position. That's the last thing that the New York Giants need to add to this football team right now. But I'm surprised that the Jaguars have made him available, if that's true. And as a Giants fan, what team in our division needs a cornerback? Badly. Dallas Cowboys. So don't want him going there. Stay out of our division. I'm completely fine with you. Trade him wherever you want. Let's see. Fran says predicted Giants Pro Bowlers. Again, I mean, you're just throwing darts at the board. You don't know who's going to stay healthy, so on and so forth. But I will go. I'll go Leonard Williams. I think he'll make the Pro Bowl. I'll go Bradbury. And if there's going to be a guy on offense, maybe Galladay, maybe Andrew Thomas. I doubt it, though. It's tough for a tackle to make the team. I don't think Barkley's going to get enough touches to make the Pro Bowl this year. I hope he does. I think it's going to be tough for guys on the offense to make it. But I think we'll get 2 or 3 Pro Bowlers. The majority of them will be on the defensive side of the football. Let's see what we got here. Jalen Hurts, yeah. Chris, after today, you think Barkley starts week 1? Yes, but not in full capacity. Yes, but limited. 5 to 8 touches. He's not going to get a full allotment of touches week 1. I mean, I'm not going to say he won't for sure, but if you're asking me what I think is going to happen, limited week 1, especially being that he's got to play a game 3 days later. Limited week 1. You start to slowly ramp it up week 2, and then week 3, I think that'll be about his average amount of touches for the rest of the year. That's my guess. I think that's what my plan would be. You got Bradbury and Aziz. Wow, you got a rookie making the Pro Bowl. I like it. Pro Bowlers Gano could, of course, as well. Last year, Gano didn't make it, which was crazy to me. I think he narrowly missed it, but obviously he's got a shot. He was great last year. Dexter Lawrence has definitely got a shot as well. He's a guy that I actually think is going to take a big step up this year. I think Lawrence is going to have a good year for the Giants. I could see him. Stand up, New York Giants fans. What's up? What's going on there? Jibo, man, thanks for popping in the stream. We go 6-0 in the division. I've not been drinking yet. Anthony, hey, you never know. Last year we could. I mean, I'm not gonna say should have, because the Washington fans will then jump in. They'll say, "Well, we should have beat you," but we could have definitely gone 6-0 last year. I'm not doing that. I think, you know what, Anthony, I'm calling you bluff. I think you are drinking. I'm not predicting 6-0. I am predicting 4-2. I think we go 4-2 in the division. That's what I'm predicting. Let's see what we got here. Yes, I did, Anthony Laporta. I saw the new uniform. Chris, what do you think about the division this season, and where do you see the Knicks going this year? I'll start with the Knicks. And again, I don't know what they're going to do in season. They could easily make a trade at the deadline, and then my opinion of the team completely changes. But right now, I loved what they did in the offseason, but I loved what a lot of teams did in the Eastern Conference in the offseason. So right now, as currently constructed, I still think the Knicks are a first-round exit. But maybe they make a big ad at the deadline. Who knows? I think the younger players will continue to get better. For the Giants, the NFC East, rather, you asked about the division. I've said it countless times, man. I think the NFC East is going to be better than people think. I'm not saying they're going to have incredible teams, but I think it's going to be better than people think. I think it's going to be a much improved division this year for the simple reason, and I think it's logical. I mean, outside of the fact that Dallas lost their most important player last year with Dak, the Giants lost their most important player with Saquon. But the biggest reason being there were 5 new head coaches in the NFL last year in a season in which you had the pandemic. You had no preseason, nothing. Out of those 5 coaches, 3 of them were in the NFC East. So it's a disadvantage in itself when you have a new head coach because, you know, you got to get used to new things, so on and so forth. When you don't have an offseason, when you don't have a preseason, it's much harder. And when you factor in that 60% of the new head coaches were in this division last year, I think that absolutely had something to do with the poor. As bad as, you know, we were definitely not that good, but I think we were worse than we really were last year because of that. So I do think the NFC East will be better than some people may think this year. I think you'll have some competitive football teams. Can you pull up the new jerseys? I can't find. Yeah. Do I still? Yeah, I still got them here. Okay. Yeah, I'll pull them up right now. Hold on. Let's see. There you go. There's the new jerseys. There's the New York Giants new jerseys this year. I'll leave them up there for a minute or two so you guys could look at them. But that's the New York Giants new jerseys that they'll be sporting this year. So pretty cool stuff, I guess. I mean, it's minor changes to the pants, so on and so forth, but Seems like a lot of Giants fans are excited about it. At the end of the day, I don't really care what the uniforms are. I just want them to win football games. But yeah, well, the color rush is always really good, Nick. The color rush is always really good. So some slight uni change, exactly. Kenny Galladay stat prediction, Alvaro says. I'm going to go, what's going on with Aaron Robinson? Last I heard, he had a core muscle injury. So I don't know outside of that. I haven't heard much else about him. I saw you ask that a couple of times. Kenny Galladay stat prediction. I am going to go, the only way I'm going to make stat predictions is based on assuming they're going to play 17 games. So let me get rid of this now. The only way I could do, I'm not going to predict that he's going to miss 5 games. So based off a 17-game projection for Kenny Galladay, I think he's going to catch a good amount of touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to get a ton of yards. I'll go 55 catches, 58 catches, 1,012 yards. I think he averages a lot of yards per carry like he has his entire career. 10 touchdowns. That if he plays 17 games. I think he just gets over 1,000 yards, and I think he just reaches double-digit touchdowns. That's my expectation for Galladay if he plays 17 games this year. Zuhaib, I got you unblocked. I know that you said you were blocked on the channel. So right before the stream, I went in there and I made sure that you weren't blocked. So you're unblocked now. I don't think I had a rogue mod though, like Bad Dog did, because there was only like 2 other people that I thought maybe shouldn't have been blocked that were. So it didn't seem that it was the case. Maybe one of my mods blocked you by accident. So you're good now. Danny Dimes touchdowns to interceptions this season. Danny Dimes touchdowns to interceptions this season. Yeah, I've been asked this in the past as well. And again, some people may view this as a hot take. 17 games again, I'm projecting. 30 touchdowns for Jones. I think he's going to throw 30. I think it's between 28 and 32. I'm going to go 30. And I think I really think that's reasonable. And some people may say that's crazy. He threw 24 in his first year in 12 games. So in a 17-game projection with Barkley back, with Galladay in the offense, all the pieces we've added, I think he's going to throw 30 touchdowns. I really do. But I do think his interceptions will be up. Because I do think the Giants are going to take more shots down the field. So last year, he only threw, I think it was like 10 interceptions, I think. And he only threw like 2 over the last like 6 starts. But it was because the New York Giants were super conservative. This year, I think they take more shots, which lends itself to more picks. So I would go something like 30 and 15, something like that. 30 touchdowns, 15 picks. I think that's where my projection is. Something like that. A 2-to-1 ratio. 30-15, something like that. That's what I'm expecting for Daniel Jones this year. Let's see what we got. And Joey, man, thank you very much. He says, are you going to the Giants Jets? I am not, unfortunately. I wish I was. I love going to football games, but no, I'm not. I actually am not even going to be able to stream it because I had prior plans. I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm taping it, and then I'll have a video and have my opinion on it. And another thing I'm doing on the channel this year, guys, is, obviously I'm going to have my post-game video. I'm going to live stream the game, so on and so forth. I love doing the midday streams. It seems like you guys enjoy them too. Every Monday after the Giants play, or a Tuesday if they play on a Monday night, or a Friday if they play on a Thursday. But the next day from like 1 to 3, I'm going to have a stream where we just talk about the game. We don't talk about next week's opponent. We just talk about the game. We talk, have a chance to digest it, have a chance to watch the game back, see things we like, see things we didn't. Going to have a stream every week the day after the game talking about the game. The next day, I'm going to have more of a broad NFL stream. It's something I've never done before live. It's going to be kind of picks against the spread, power rankings, and obviously always Giants involved. But that's my plan, at least going into the year. Stuff like that midday throughout the week. And Joey, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Are you going to the – I already read that, man. But thank you so much, Joey, man. I really appreciate it. And Zahib, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, thanks, brother. You got it, man. Absolutely, man. I know that Bad Dog actually told me, and then you reminded me when I was in Bad Dog stream. I said, oh, yeah, I got to make sure Zahib's unblocked. So I'm sorry about that. One of my mods must have done it by accident because I know you would never do anything to get blocked. So I apologize. And, yeah, get the likes up a little bit, Word, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, spike the like, subscribe, ring the bell. I did see the highlights too quickly. I didn't see the game, but I saw the highlight with the step back 3. I did see that. How many fumbles, Jones, this year? I'm just gonna go lost fumbles because I could care less if he fumbles and we recover it. I'll go 4, maybe 5. I'm going to go 4. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say 19 total turnovers, 15 picks, 4 fumbles, 30 passing touchdowns. I'll go 4 rushing touchdowns. So I'll go 34 total touchdowns, 19 total turnovers. That's what I'll go for Jones this year. Those are my expectations. And Bobby, man, thank you very much. Hi, Chris. When are you getting the tickets? The tickets to what? FanFest I'm going to. I already have the tickets. If you're talking about the tickets to the Eagles game, one of my subscribers actually was kind enough to offer me one of his season tickets. So I already have my ticket to the game. He reached out to me via email. So I'm going to that. But I may be going to the Falcons game as well. And if I am going to that, I'll let you know. But I already have my ticket for the Eagles game. So I'm going. That's 100% happening. I'm going to the Eagles game. Where it is, I'm not 100% sure. When I find out, I will let you know. How about Kyle Rudolph stat prediction? I think Rudolph, I think Rudolph for the most part is used here to be a blocker, and to be used as a red zone threat. So I could see something like 350 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. I could see him getting a decent amount of touchdowns. I don't think he's going to get a ton of yards, unless Ingram goes down with an injury. But I'll say mid 300s with 4 or 5 touchdowns. That'll be my predictions for Rudolph. Maybe 400 yards, something like that. 400 yards, 7 touchdowns. I could see that. I could see 5 to 7 touchdowns. I don't think that's crazy because I think he's going to be one of our primary red zone targets. I could definitely see that. Similar, you know what I'm thinking about? Even though he's not going to be as good as him. But I'm thinking back to Andrew Luck. When Andrew Luck kind of had the 2 tight ends that had a really good year. And I forgot who. I think it was Doyle and Ebron. And Ebron I don't think had a ton of yards, but he had a ton of touchdowns. I think he had like 10 touchdowns, maybe like 500 yards. I don't know if he's going to get 10, but I could see something like that because I think he's going to be used a lot in the red zone. Zahai, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Do you guys know if the NFL app will stream live local games this season? We all break the rules at work. I would guess not, unfortunately for you, because I know the only reason I would guess not is because my sister, who doesn't have cable TV, she's a huge Mets and Knicks fan. She got the MLB season, the package last year, Major League package, thinking she'd be able to get Mets games, and she got none of them because the Mets were blacked out due to the fact that she was in New York. So my guess would be if you're in the New York, New Jersey area and they're showing the game, that it would be blacked out. But I don't know. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know. I know it's that way for baseball and I think basketball. Anybody could get tickets. It is called StubHub, Joseph. This is true. Chris, with the money those quarterbacks are getting, I hope we don't overpay for Jones if he does well. Here's what I'm going to say about that, man. Taco. I would love to pay Daniel Jones what Josh Allen got paid. Because that means he's really good. But the Giants aren't going to just throw him that money unless he really takes a major step up. But that's the way it works in the NFL, Taco, at the end of the day. If Jones is going to get his second contract with the New York Giants, he's going to get overpaid. He is. Unless they take the Kirk Cousins route, where they have him on the 4th year, the 5th year option, and then they franchise tag him for a year or 2. That's possible. And you're still paying him a lot of money for those franchise years, but it's not a long-term commitment. If Jones proves to be the guy and the guy that they feel is going to be their guy long-term, he's going to get Josh Allen money because the market doesn't go down. It only goes up. And you may not want to hear that. And trust me, I would love not to have to pay Jones that kind of money. If he's really good, he's going to get it. And as fans, if he is really good, I think we'll smile and we'll say, okay, we got our quarterback. But he's got a long way to go before he gets that Josh Allen type money. But we'll see what he does this year. That's just the going rate. You think about it. Jimmy Garoppolo, I remember, got a huge contract, even when he hadn't played a lot of games. He had like 4 or 5 really good games with the Patriots. The 49ers gave him a lot of money. Stafford had a record-breaking contract at one point. He was the highest-paid quarterback in the sport. Jared Goff, I think, was the highest-paid quarterback in the sport at one point. Carson Wentz. When you hit the open market, if teams feel you're worthy of that second deal, you're gonna get a record-breaking contract at the quarterback position. That's just the way it works. And Will, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, wait, you're going to the Eagles game on the 28th of November. I'll be there. First Giants game ever for me. Would love to meet. Yeah, I plan on trying to do a tailgate and everything. So definitely, I'll definitely have the, what I plan on doing, everything else on the channel, telling you guys, and hopefully I get to meet a ton of you guys that are going to be at the game. So yeah, no, I'm definitely going to that game. And I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you guys. Can the Knicks win 50 games next year? Yeah, I think they could. Yeah, I think that's probably their ceiling. I think the Knicks are between 40 and 50 wins. I think they're right around a 500 team with a max of 50, maybe 51, 52 wins. But yeah, I think it's possible. What's going on there, V? Christian, man, thanks for popping in. Chris, but realistically, I just don't see DJ winning us a Super Bowl. Well, if you don't, then you don't want him here. I mean, but if the Giants are going to give him that kind of money, they're obviously going to feel he's worthy of a guy that could get us a Super Bowl. Otherwise, you don't give him the contract. Chris, what do you think about Ogletree snagging five picks in 2 practices? I could care less. I could care less. I remember Ogletree. Ogletree sucked with the Giants, by the way, but I remember Ogletree had like 2 or 3 games where he got a ton of picks. He had like 2 picks. He might have had 3 picks in one game. He had like 2 games where he had a ton of picks. I think one was against the 49ers. I forgot the other one. I think he scored like a touchdown or led to a touchdown on like the first play of the game. But overall, he sucked, and he's just not a good player. But he's not anymore anyway. Justin, man, thank you very much. Hey, bro, did you ever end up killing that? I did. Yes, I did, Justin. I found it about a week later. Maybe he just took a long nap, but it looked as if he had passed away. But Justin, man, glad to see you, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Who is going to retire next? Oh, we got an Eagles troll in the chat, man. Can you go to the Eagles game? I might be going to the Eagles game in Philly, Matthew Stein. I would say that's at least a 50-50 possibility. I don't want to commit to it. Here's what I'll say, and I think I said it to Tuto, who's going to it from Italy, lives in Italy. He's going to the Giants-Eagles game in Philadelphia. I told him if the game is important, I'm going to go. Like, here's what I'll say. If the Giants are like 0-10, and which is not going to happen, but if the Giants are completely out of it and the game is meaningless, I'm not going to go to Philadelphia. If it's a big game, the day after Christmas, I will go. I've made that commitment. People have asked me to go. If the Giants are right in the thick of it, they're in first place, they're tied for first, whatever it may be, it's a big game, I'll be there. I'll be going to the link if it's a big game. I'm not going to go for a meaningless game. Let's see what we got here. Chris, if you go to the Eagles game in Philly, I will. I'll wear a bulletproof vest, a bulletproof mask, a bulletproof everything. Be careful. Don't be on. Oh, I will not be on my own cruise on. That's for sure. Chris just started following. That's awesome, PJ, man. I love Twitter. Twitter's a lot of fun. Sometimes I go over the top. I like to kid around on there a lot. But I have fun on Twitter. That's awesome, man. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to the game for sure. All right, Danny. Hopefully I get to see you there. I'm an Eagles fan with a good friend that's a Giants fan. He's ready to bet on the Giants to win the Super Bowl. I wouldn't do that. But the odds are probably really good. I don't know, the gamblers in the chat. I'm just curious. What's the Giants odds? Let me guess. Giants odds to win the Super Bowl. 60-1. I'll go because I know their odds aren't high to win the division. They're like 4.5-1 to win the division. So I'll go 60-1. Giants to win the Super Bowl. What's the Vegas odds on the Giants to win the Super Bowl? Can you go to the let's see what we got. No, it's definitely not 10-1. What's up, Chris? Can't wait to see you on Wednesday. Bro, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Is it 50-1? You took them at 35-1 to make the Super Bowl. So they're 35-1 to make the Super Bowl. Okay, 35-1 to make the Super Bowl. And I got an Eagles fan here. Bobby Murphy says, he's an Eagles fan. He says the Giants' odds are slim to none. What's the Eagles' odds? You know, I saw a poll today on Twitter, and I had to repost it. And it was from an Eagles guy, and he posted which team's going to win the division. And the Eagles won the poll by a pretty substantial margin. I think 40% of the people that voted said the Eagles are going to win the division. And Bobby, I care about people. I'm a nice guy. I legitimately think 90% of your fan base are drug addicts. And I really want to help them. So, Bobby, if you could reach out to your fan base and you know, I don't know if there's clinics there, whatever it may be, I will try to promote that on my channel to try to get them in better shape because it's not good. You know, it's dangerous for the people of Philadelphia because I really believe that you guys have drug problems in Philadelphia. You have to for your fans to actually believe that you guys have an opportunity to win the division this year. And Marco, man, thank you very much. Just 6 more days. Let's go, Blue. I'm excited. What's going on, Marco, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I appreciate it. Jeremiah, man, what's going on, buddy? What's up, brother? Go Birds. Got another Eagles fan. He's one of the sane ones. He's not a drug addict. No, I'm just messing with you guys. What's up, Jeremiah, man? Glad to see you, man. Thanks for all the support you always show on the channel, man. Chris, do you compare DJ? What's up, Ralph, man? Thanks for popping the stream, buddy. Chris is getting sassy already. What's up, Greg, man? Hope you're doing well, man. Why aren't they wearing the Super Bowl uniforms? What's up, 40 Luck, man? Thanks for popping the stream. Giants are 80-1. Is that true? The Giants are 80-1 to win the Super Bowl? I mean, I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl, but I might throw like $10 on that for a shot at 800. Those seem like good odds to me. Send the money to me. I'll make sure they get it. Okay. All right, Bobby Murphy. Tana, thoughts on Julius Randle with the Knicks? I think it's a steal. I think it was a great deal by the Knicks. To get, he wasn't near a max contract. I think Randle did that as a favor. And I think Knicks fans should applaud Julius Randle, to be completely honest with you. He took a lot less money than he probably could have commanded. Had he hit the open market, he was getting a max deal. And I think in the long run, that's going to help the Knicks. So I think it was a great deal for the Knicks. Let's see what we got here. The Kansas City Chiefs are 5-1. Tampa Bay 6-1. The Giants are 80-1. Wow. Makai says, thoughts on the Vikings. I saw that. I didn't get a chance to pull up the message. The Vikings are one of my surprise teams this year. I've got the Vikings going to the playoffs. I have the Packers winning the division, but I have the Vikings going to the playoffs. I think Kirk Cousins has a nice bounce back here. I think it's a contract year for him, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Vikings have some good young talent on that team, and I think they're going to beat up on the Bears and the Lions. I don't think either one of those, the Lions especially, are horrible. I like the Vikings this year. I think they're going to get a wild card. They're one of my, I guess, surprise teams. Let's see what we got here. Can you go to an Eagles game in Philly so I can be? I mean, I'm leaning that I will, Matt, but the game's got to mean something. I am not going to go into the pits of hell if the game doesn't mean anything. I'm not going to put my life on the line. And trust me, Matt, I saw what happened. You guys are so crazy and you guys are so strung out on drugs that you guys shot a New York Giants fan at, I think it was Pat's or Geno's. You guys got into an argument. You shot a Giants fan. Got to get your fans under control, my man. I'd love to go there and hang out with you guys, get to know you guys a little bit better. I ain't getting shot. I might have to put a C note on 80-1. I mean, for those odds, it's not bad, man. Let's see what we got here. Hope the Bears get decimated. I think all Giants fans in here are hoping that the Bears go 0-17. I'd love the number one pick. What about the New Orleans Saints? They are still good, even though their quarterback retired. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I still think the Saints have a good team. What's up there, Ashton, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I still think the Saints have a good team. I think they're a wild card team, but obviously they have a major question mark at the quarterback position, but I'm not taking them lightly. Last year, 2 years ago, they won a ton of games with Bridgewater. They won games with Taysom Hill at quarterback. They have a good team, and I know they lost some other players to free agency, but I still think Peyton's a really good head coach. They're going to find ways to be competitive. They still have a great offensive line. They're going to find ways to be competitive and stay in football games. Tana, it's the Vikings. Here we go. Makai says, Tana, if it's the Vikings versus the Giants in the Super Bowl, who wins? I'm going to tell you what, Makai, I'm going to be a nice guy because I don't know what the odds are for that. I will let you name the odds on what that is. You just have to bet a minimum of $100. I will give you infinity to 1 odds. You just have to bet $100, and I'll let you place that bet. Giants-Vikings Super Bowl. I'll let you place that bet. Can't happen. They're in the same conference, my man. I'm just kidding with you. Let's see what we got here. OBJ, I live out of state. The only way for me to get games. And what's going on there, Card Coach, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on there, Rogue? My uncle's an Eagles fan. He says Philly is winning the division. What's up there, Max Russo? What's going on there, Buck Josh, man? Thanks for popping in. What's up? What's up there, Mark W? Nona in the chat. It's impossible for the Giants to... Yeah, I know. That was the joke, man. That was the joke. What's up there, Flickers? Yeah, I know. That's the Stanley. They lost a lot of players. It wasn't just their quarterback. So I could see them not, 7 wins, 8 wins, but I definitely could still see them getting a wild card. Big Daddy, what's going on, man? What's up there, EJ Cool? Tana, why do the Giants suck? Well, I mean, They haven't had it. I mean, I don't know if they suck yet this year. We'll see. In recent years, we've been horrible. What's up, Ray, man? Thanks for popping in. Can you change 1 and 3 to 4 and 6 because of school? I mean, Jake, what I'll do in season, I'll find out what hours you guys want best. I mean, it seems like a lot of you guys like the midday show. Today I waited till 3 because I was kind of waiting, or 3:40 in this case, because I was kind of waiting until the practice reports came out. Normally I usually do it like 1:30. But I'll let you guys pick. If you guys would prefer night streams, I'll do night streams. It just seems like you guys like the midday streams. It's something to do while you're at work. Come on and talk Giants football. So whatever you guys want, man. I just try to do something different, man. It seemed like you guys like that during free agency. So I was doing like the 1 to 3. 4 to 6. You guys like the 4 to 6? What's up there, Vintage Man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Flying out from Cali to watch the Philly at Giants game. That's awesome, man. Let's see. And Ashton says, you stream the preseason. I'm going to be streaming games 2 and 3. I'm not streaming the first game. I can't. I have prior plans. Otherwise, I'd be doing all 3. But I'm streaming the second and the third, and obviously all regular season games and other games outside of just the Giants. Anytime like a team in our division has a big game and I could do it, I'm going to do it. Buck says, I'd rather listen during work. Yeah, I feel like some people like the midday. Maybe I'll mix it up. Maybe sometimes I'll have midday. Sometimes I'll have a little bit later. I'll mix it up, We'll see what we like. What's up, Dust Thunderman? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Chris, Saquon and X-Men. I know. We weren't talking much about him as well. O'Shane Zimenez is back, too, so that's great to hear, too. That was a surprise injury when the offseason started. We'll see, what kind of role he has if he does make this team, but it's great to have him back on the team. Obviously, we have some, depth at that position, but we don't have a ton of talent, so the more the merrier there. We'll see if he can make an impact this year. What's up, Jack, man? Thanks for popping in. Shout out for Rookie. Yes, we got to be doing that a lot more as the season approaches. I'll be having the link. Matter of fact, going forward, I'm going to be shouting them out a lot more. I got to get in contact with them because I kind of want to do something with them, especially during my weekly pick stream. I want to do like a weekly contest where it's like small giveaways that we give away. But yeah, the official sponsor of the channel for Rookie and for Rookie. Small giveaways, but I want to do something. Maybe like a fitted hat a week. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's something that I want to do on the channel too. MY Giants 26, man. Thanks for popping in. Well, not popping in. You've been here. But thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Chris, I will be in California, San Francisco, San Diego. Will I be able to get the Giants versus Browns game out there on TV, or will I have to use the phone? I mean, if you go to a bar, obviously, I don't know how old you are. So if you're under 21, you can't go to a bar. Well, you can go to a restaurant that shows the game. They probably have an NFL Sunday ticket. But if not that, yeah, I'm sure if you're in California, you can get it on the app for sure. And I'm sure if you have a smart TV, you can probably put it on the TV. Whether or not it'll be, if it's not a nationally televised game, it's not going to be out there. But is Philly 500 on crack? He thinks the new Eagles coach Sirianni is a superstar with 0 game. Hey, listen, I love Philly 500. It's one of my favorite guys on YouTube. He's a really nice guy. I mean, let's be real. Philly 500 probably dabbles. He probably dabbles a little bit with the paraphernalia. I mean, the guy thinks that that Giants. I don't know. He's into all these conspiracy theories. He's an Eagles fan for one. And I mean, yeah, I mean, he thinks that team's going 17-0 every year. So yes, he probably dabbles a little bit. What's up there, Daniel Jones, man? Do you think Kadarius Toney will score on a kick return this year? I mean, we'll see. We'll see how he's used in the offense this year, whether it's kick return, punt return. But my bold prediction that I've said this year, I am predicting that Kadarius Toney this year is going to run, pass, and throw, run, catch, and pass for a touchdown this year. Not in one game, but in the year. I think he's going to do that. And I think he will be utilized in the return game. I hope he can return one for a touchdown. And Grimman, thank you very much. Favorite Giants beat reporter? That's a question I don't get that often. I guess I'll go with Art. Art seems to be a pretty personable guy. Seems to be a nice guy. Seems to be pretty team friendly. I don't dislike many of the. There's a couple. But no, overall, I like most of them. I think they all do a really good job. But I guess Art would probably be my favorite. But there's a lot of them that I like. But I'd probably go with Art Stapleton. Let's see what we got. I picked the Vikings, Pats, and 49ers, my 3 underrated teams, and Steelers. Well, I'm going to tell you what, man. I might have the 49ers going to the Super Bowl. I don't think I will, but I like the 49ers this year. So if people are underrating them, I don't think they should be. I think the 49ers are going to be really good. Independent man, thank you very much. The discussion about the Giants' retirements are pretty ludicrous, with the exception of Fulton. Really? And Kelvin doesn't. No, Kelvin doesn't count. Kelvin Benjamin shouldn't count. Kelvin Benjamin was fat. Let's be real. The Giants didn't want him on the football team when he showed up at camp. They just gave him a shot to come in shape. They wanted to see maybe he could fit, maybe he could have some upside. There's nothing there. That's not a real retirement. The other guys, like I said in my video, I mean, if they didn't want to be here, I don't want them here. Period. End of story. They probably felt like they weren't going to make the team, whether it be Todd Davis, whether it be Fulton, whether whoever it may be, Joe Looney, and they didn't want to have to go through the strenuous training camp. At the end of the day, as a Giants fan, I want strenuous training camp. We need to do something different. So I wasn't upset about that at all. Joe Looney went to the Chiefs. Did he really? Then he was too soft to be a Giant. Sorry. Is that true? I didn't know that. Let's see. Kadarius Toney's stat line prediction. Toney's stat line prediction. I will go 450 receiving yards, 225 rushing yards, and a combined 6 touchdowns. I also think he returns kicks. I don't think he's gonna have incredible stats. I think he's gonna be used in a lot of different ways, and I think he's gonna be somebody that the defense is gonna have to pay attention to. But how many yards could you expect this guy to get when you have all the wide receivers that we have out, unless people get hurt? Then he's going to get more of a role. But I've got him around 400, 450 receiving yards, 5 or 6 combined touchdowns. I think I'll have some big plays for this football team. I think they'll use him a little bit as on end arounds in the backfield. I think they'll get creative. I was going to say, I didn't think so. I think I would have heard that. Joe Looney retired. I think Bobby got the wrong information there. What's going on there? John Manning's popping in the stream. And we got time. Says, what's up, Chris? Love the midday. I love doing the midday streams. The midday streams are fun for me. It breaks up my day. And yeah, I get an opportunity to sit back, watch the Mets. But I love doing the midday streams, and it seems like you guys enjoy them. So, I'll probably keep doing them in season. What's up, Cy Manning's popping in the stream? Bums want to get paid and not put in the work. Exactly. Toney may have ball handling issues. Who knows? Yeah. Chris, I know you made a video on it, but the Joe Judge hate is crazy. I mean, it's been that way since he took the job, and I get used to it. I mean, it was that way with Eli Manning his entire career. It was that way with Tom Coughlin for a lot of his career. People forget the 2 years that Tom Coughlin won the Super Bowl. After 2 weeks that year, I remember. I watched the games. And obviously it wasn't as much as it is now because social media has just reached another level from where it was in 2007. If it was like now, like it was back then, you'd have the same amount of people that would say fire Tom Coughlin. 2007, after 2 weeks when the Giants started 0-2, people wanted Tom Coughlin gone. And 2011, after he'd already won a Super Bowl, in that year, people wanted Tom Coughlin gone. So get used to it. That's New York, man. It's a results-driven sport and a results-driven city. And you're always going to have those kinds of expectations, whether it's the head coach, whether it's the quarterback. And Simon, thank you very much. I get that, but do you really want to watch the Mets? I mean, I watch them because I'm a diehard fan, but I mean, lately, I'd be lying if I said I did the way they've been playing. They've been horrible as of late, but hopefully they turn it around, man. Don't forget to wish Xavier McKinney. I didn't even know it was his birthday. Happy birthday to Xavier McKinney, the safety that we all hope breaks out this year out of Alabama. I'm really excited to see McKinney in the defense this year. Hopefully he's got a bright future with this football team. So happy birthday to Xavier McKinney. Why did people want Coughlin gone after he made the playoffs 2 straight seasons? Because it's New York. And we made the playoffs, and I think we lost to the Eagles the first time. Then against the Panthers, we got completely embarrassed. I believe in that game, it was Eli's second playoff appearance in 2006 against John Fox. John Fox had previously coached with the New York Giants, so he knew the team a little bit. He was the defensive coordinator with the Giants. He was then the head coach with the Carolina Panthers. In that game, the New York Giants didn't get across midfield. I don't think they got across the 50-yard line the entire game. And then the following year, they started 0-2. People were complaining about Coughlin, and people were definitely putting him on the hot seat. Oh, it was Panthers, then Eagles. My mistake. Panthers, then Eagles. Chris, can you go live on August 20th for my birthday? I mean, I will see, Matthew, but happy birthday regardless if I don't. But if I can, I will. And there's the official sponsor of the channel. If you want to check out the link, I appreciate that. Afghanistan, Faruqi. And Faruqi, been in business for 25 years. Personal injury lawyers. They are in the metropolitan area. They service all 5 boroughs along Long Island. And Simon Z, man, thank you very much. He says, at this point, Rogan ain't even gonna help me with that. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm not going bold, but I'm going gray watching the Mets. Sit down, stand the F up. What's going on there, comp man? Any news? I haven't heard anything updated on Aaron Robinson, Max. I haven't heard anything updated on Aaron Robinson. I know that he's had the core muscle injury, I think it is, but I haven't heard anything updated on him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play this year if he gets an opportunity. I don't think he does unless there's injuries. I think Darnay Holmes is going to be the starting slot corner, but obviously you can provide us some depth if there are some injuries. I also think Julian Love will be the primary, I guess, like jack of all trades type guy if there's an injury. Could kind of play every position. So I don't know how much Aaron Robinson's going to get on the field this year, but I think he's going to obviously be a part of the future of this defense. And Zahai, man, thank you very much. 1 month from tonight, the Bucs going to light up the Cowgirls bucket. Oh, if you have daily fantasy, if you play daily fantasy, make sure you start Tom Brady week 1. He's going to throw 5 touchdowns against the Cowboys, and I'll be calling that game. I can't wait to call it. And Raphael, man, thank you very much. Better Super Bowl, Steelers, Cards, or Pats, Seahawks? I'm going to go with the Steelers Cards. They were both really good Super Bowls. Obviously, they came down to the final play. But Steelers Cards, I mean, that drive at the end of the game where Ben hits Antonio Holmes in the corner of the end zone, I'm going to go with that. That was they were both great. But some of the greatest Super Bowls, obviously the Giants. Both Giants Super Bowls were fantastic. I still think Super Bowl 42 is the greatest Super Bowl of all time. But obviously the Giants-Bills was a good one too, 20-19. You got the Titans-Rams. You cannot forget about that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was fantastic. Titans-Rams, Kevin Dyson, I think it was, got tackled on the 1-yard line. A great tackle to save the game. And I'll give another one that I think a lot of people don't really talk about. When I was growing up as a kid, the AFC always got demolished. Like, I think it was like 13 or 14 straight years that the NFC won the Super Bowl. Like, you had the Cowboys dynasty, you had the 49ers, you had the Packers. The Washington had won 3. It was like 14 straight years that the NFC won a Super Bowl. Even though it wasn't as close as some of those other games, it was still a great Super Bowl. You had the memorable moment of John Elway with the helicopter when he got hit up in the air. I think that Packers-Broncos Super Bowl is up there as one of the greatest Super Bowls as well. Just because you had John Elway finally getting his first Super Bowl. You had that whole AFC, NFC thing. The AFC hadn't won in like 14 or 15 years. The Broncos came in as a huge underdog. I think that's one of the better Super Bowls as well. And what's going on there? Don Mannix popping in the stream, man. Pats-Rams was good, but there was no offense. But it was good. It was close. Pats versus Panthers. Yeah, the Jake Del Home one. I mean, all the Patriots Super Bowls were close. Pats-Rams, Pats-Panthers, Pats-Eagles. They were all close. Yeah, Niners-Chiefs was a good one, too. Taco, he says, Chris, who has more of a breakout season, DJ or RJ? I'm going to go with DJ. And I think RJ is going to improve, but I think DJ improves more. Because I think RJ already took a huge step up. So I'm going to go DJ, actually. I think DJ is a bigger jump than RJ this year. I did not see Mr. Softy, Bobby, but when I do, I will let you know. Pats Falcon. Oh, yeah, the big comeback, 28-3. That was a good one. One of the worst Super Bowls of all time was the other Falcons Super Bowl, where I forgot what the final score was, but the Falcons got completely destroyed against the Broncos, actually. I think it was John Elway's second Super Bowl. They got completely destroyed in that one. Who gets more time, McKinney or Holmes? I think McKinney. No. I don't know. I think that's pretty close because Holmes isn't going to be out there all the time. They're going to have him out there when they need a slot cornerback, and McKinney's not going to be out there all the time either. But they're going to run a lot of 3 safety sets. I think that's close. I think they're going to have a pretty similar snap count. That's tough. Expectations for the first 3 games, Authentic says. I'm going 2-1. I'm going to win against Denver. I'm going to be realistic and say we lose to Washington on the short rest on Thursday Night Football on the road. I'm going to give them their respects. But what I will say about that game, Authentic, and I know you live in Washington and you know that team better than I do. But what I will say about that game, and why I think in a way, it's a good thing that we got them early. Unfamiliarity. A new quarterback. We could talk about Fitzpatrick all we want and how he's been a journeyman and he's played all over this, that, the other thing. You're still talking about a guy who's still only going to be 4 days removed from his first game playing with those players. I think it's an advantage that the Giants get Fitzpatrick early on in the season. So I would not be shocked if the Giants defense is able to create a lot of turnovers against Fitzpatrick in that second game. I think it is a benefit that the Giants did get Washington early for that reason. But I am going to be conservative. I am going to go Washington game 2, and I'm going to have the Giants beating the Falcons game 3. I think we match up well with the Falcons. I think we start 2-1, but I wouldn't be shocked if we beat Washington. I really wouldn't. I think it's a benefit that we get him. That's Cap Fitzpatrick. I am not scared of Fitzpatrick. I'm not scared of Fitzmagic. I'm not scared of Fitztragic. You can call him whatever you want. I don't care if the guy's been good for his first 4 games here or there. The other thing, he does not scare me. And the fact that he has new weapons, I could see there being a bit of a learning curve early on in the season. And Damien, man, thank you very much. Broncos versus Seahawks was a good one. Yeah. No. Wait. Was that the one that was a blow? No, the Broncos Panthers. The Seahawks Panthers was the blowout, right? No, wait. No, Broncos Panthers was a blowout. I'm trying to remember that Super Bowl. Broncos Seahawks. Oh, that was the game. Wait. I don't even remember that one to be. Oh, was that the one that's the one that Russell Wilson won? I don't even remember that one that well, to be completely honest with you. Both blow. Okay, they were both blowouts. Chris, I could take a Bobby invite to Pat's Steaks. What's up? Mike says, I don't remember that game, to be honest. I don't remember that game. He didn't trick me, but that's why I don't remember it. It was a horrible Super Bowl. It was smart choosing Faruqi and Faruqi as a sponsor. I'll need them if Jones doesn't cut down the turnovers. So, 5 years ago, we made the playoffs. 10 years ago, we won the Super Bowl. I don't believe in patterns, Malik. I've been trying to convince myself with patterns my entire life as a Mets fan. I used to say when I was a kid, 69 they won, 86 they won. Well, that means in 2003 they're going to win. Didn't happen. So I'm not a patterns guy. That was the Super Bowl that was at MetLife. Are the Giants going to make the playoffs? I have them narrowly making the playoffs. Yes, I have them making the playoffs. But I obviously could see it going either way. How bad was watching the Ravens-Giants Super Bowl? It was one of the worst experiences of my life in terms of a sports fan. Obviously, going into that game, expectations were sky high. You beat the Vikings 41-0. And as a kid, and at the time I was still only 15 years old, 14, I think, actually, you're not going into that game, thinking, oh my God, we're versing this old world defense. We just beat the Vikings 41-0. We had the whole guarantee with Fossil. We had won our last 5 regular season games. We smoked the Eagles. We beat the Vikings. And then you go into that game and you say, okay, well, we're going to beat this team. I thought we were going to win. And, the funniest thing about that Super Bowl, and I've been alive, I was alive for the 90. I don't remember it. So I remember 3 Super Bowls for the Giants. I remember that one, and I remember the 2 Super Bowls that we won. And the funny thing about that Super Bowl is that was the one I was most confident the Giants were going to win. That's the honest truth. That was the one I was most confident going in that the Giants were going to win. And, the first half we got completely annihilated. And then we returned the kick for a touchdown. And then you say to yourself, we're right back in this thing. And then the next play, the Ravens return it for a touchdown. And then the win just, came completely out of you. So it was a horrible experience as a Giants fan. It was fun to get there. It was a really fun season, but the Super Bowl itself was horrible. How great was the Giants-Pats first one ending the perfect? I mean, I say it all the time, man. In my lifetime, there's never going to be a better feeling as a sports fan. The Knicks, the Mets, the Giants winning another Super Bowl. Nothing will ever top that one. Nothing will ever top that one. Undefeated? The way in which the Giants had to get there? You're talking about going into Lambeau Field and beating Brett Favre? You're talking about beating the 13-3 Dallas Cowboys team? And the way that Eli had to do it, and the defense and the way they played and going up against the 18-0 Pats, that'll never be topped. That run will never be topped. I don't care what happens for the rest of my life as a sports fan. That will never be topped. Kerry Collins was good. Not great, but he was good. The one thing that I remember as a kid watching that team with Collins and Barber and Toomer and Shockey, they were great between the 20s. They would move the ball at will between the 20s. They'd rack up a ton of yards, but they wouldn't punch it in enough. That's what I remembered about that offense. They put up a lot of yards. Collins threw for like 4,000 yards, which in that era was a lot, but they didn't score enough touchdowns. That's what I remember about that offense. I remember being so scared that Eli threw a pick when he chucked it to Tyree. Well, yeah, I think we all were, Chris. Haven't truly watched the Giants Super Bowl. Obviously the Pats ones, but really little. I think I would cry if we win or lose a Super Bowl. Yeah, I cried. I didn't cry when we lost. I cried when we won the first one. Second one, I didn't cry, but obviously I was happy. Yeah, Collins had a good arm, man. Listen, man, people don't realize Collins was a good quarterback. Collins was the 5th overall pick out of Penn State. His second year in the league, or maybe it was his rookie year. I think it was his second year in the league. He went to the NFC title game in Carolina's second year in existence. He brought him to the NFC championship game. And then obviously he had the alcohol problems and the Giants. I think he went to the Saints before the Giants. But he had the alcohol problems, and then the Giants got him in 99. They went to the Super Bowl in 2000. Collins had a lot of talent. He just had a lot of problems off the field. I'd rather lose in the playoffs than lose in the Super Bowl, Dylan said. I don't think I would. I'd rather get to a Super Bowl. Rate Giants do away. I'll go an 8 out of 10. I don't think they're incredible, but I'll give them a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, Shockey was good. Shockey was definitely good. Probably the best tight end I've seen in a Giants uniform. I didn't get to see Bavaro, so probably the best Giants tight end I've seen. Obviously, when he left, though, Eli got better. I think Shockey kind of held him back a little bit, but he was, incredibly talented. I became a hardcore sports fan when I was 11 for the 2011 season. Well, that is the most fun season I've ever had as a Giants fan, start to finish, because Eli Manning's my favorite player. And that year, I'll put Eli against any quarterback. That year, he was incredible. Do you think Eli Manning and Daniel Jones are similar? No. I laugh at that because a lot of people were comparing them last year in terms of similarities. I mean, maybe their mechanics are similar because they learned under the same coach. His coach at Duke, who's supposed to be a quarterback guru. But outside of that, I don't see many similarities at all, to be completely honest with you. Eli Manning had 2 left feet, for one. He couldn't run. Eli Manning, in my opinion, had a stronger arm. I don't know. I don't see many similarities at all. I think they're the same height. Maybe they have similar mechanics, but outside of that, they're not similar quarterbacks. They're just not. Toomer even said that Eli was a better quarterback when Shockey left. He was. He clearly was. Same thing with Barber. He became a better quarterback after those guys left because I think he became more of a leader. And great, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Tony making catches in camp, being used in motion. He could have a sneaky good rookie year with Shepard's availability. Issues if used correctly. Yeah, I mean, listen, if there's an injury, he's going to get more of an opportunity, whether it's Shepard, whether it's whoever. So, I mean, yeah, the fact of the matter is he's going to get more targets if somebody gets hurt, but we don't want that. Obviously, you want everybody to stay healthy, but I'm excited to see how they're going to use him, though, and I definitely think they're going to use him in motion. You've seen it, like you said, in training camp. You've seen the end arounds. You've seen you've seen him used in the running game, and I expect them to do that. They used Evan Ingram in that role last year. I think they'll use Kadarius Toney more so in that role this year. What if the Knicks won as an 8 seed? Would that top the Giants' run? Well, they almost did. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or if you're referring to in the future, but they made the finals as an 8 seed. I don't think so. No, because it's one game. So it's no. The feeling you get from that one game, no. I don't. And just, it's every game you play, you're going home if you lose. It's not that way in the NBA. I don't think it'll ever be topped. Ian, man, thank you very much. Will Eli join Peyton in the Hall of Fame first ballot? I'm going to say no, but he should. I don't think Eli will get in the first ballot, but I think he should. I just think for some reason there is so much, I guess, like it's such a hot topic with Eli that I think there's going to be a portion of writers that don't vote him in his first time around. He might get in the second, third, fourth. I don't know. He's getting in, but I'm leaning he will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If I was a writer, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I don't think he will be. And if you look over the course of history, it's very hard for a quarterback to get in first ballot. I think he's going to miss it on the first ballot. I hope I'm wrong. I want him to be first ballot. He deserves first ballot, but I don't think he will be first ballot. And David, man, thank you very much. My first football game I ever watched was the 2007 Super Bowl. I was 9 years old. I was playing upstairs and came down just in time to see the catch. That was good timing on your part. That's probably what made you a Giant fan, because you're never going to top that play. That's for damn sure, man. But I do think Eli should be a first ballot if you asking me that, but I don't think he will be. Do you personally think Saquon Barkley is the best running back right now? I think you can at least make an argument that he's the most talented. I think you could make that argument. Obviously, people will say McCaffrey and Henry and blah, 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 blah. But I think you could at least make that argument. Based off of injuries and pretty much injuries alone, you cannot make the argument that he's the best running back. You just can't. The guy played one game last year. The year before, he missed 3 games, and he was not himself for at least 3 others. So, no, he's not the best running back in the NFL. Not now. Could that change? Absolutely. Does he have incredible upside and incredible talent? Yes. So he's not the best. Not right now. No, he's had too many injuries. True Apple says, question, assuming Eli makes the Hall of Fame, who introduces it? I would say Coughlin. I think it's Coughlin. Coughlin and Eli had such a special relationship. And maybe to be Peyton. I think it would be one or the other, maybe Archie. But Coughlin and Eli had such a special relationship. I always get goosebumps whenever I watch Coughlin's retirement. I watch it probably 2 or 3 times a year. Whenever I watch Coughlin's retirement speech, and he says it wasn't you, Eli. It wasn't your fault, because Eli blamed himself for Tom Coughlin getting fired by the New York Giants. And basically what Coughlin was saying there was, it was Jerry Reese's fault. It was the New York Giants' fault. Eli, it wasn't you. We failed you. That's basically what Coughlin was saying in that speech. And I always get goosebumps when I see Eli Manning tear up, and just the love they had for one another. So if I had to pick somebody that I would like to see introduce Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame, I think it should be Tom Coughlin. I think Tom Coughlin was a father figure, and I think after Coughlin left, Eli wasn't the same quarterback. Let's see what we got here. Booker was a bad signing, to be honest, overpaid. Yeah, a little bit. But people that go crazy about that, what was he, $1 million overpaid? Sure. But I could just as easily argue that we underpaid some players too. So I'm not gonna go crazy about that. Yo, Chris, check out the tweet I just tagged you in. Let me take a quick look. I'll try my best because I got a lot of tweets right now. Let me see. Who did he tag me in? What did he tag me in? What did he tag me? Who said that? A fan with a mic? Because a fan with a mic tagged me in it. Who said it? Let me see. Yeah, he did. Okay. What did he say? What did he say? For those who argue that Manning was an average quarterback. Yeah, I actually saw that tweet yesterday. I think I did. Let me just read it. For those who argue if Eli Manning was an average quarterback that got hot during the Super Bowl runs, take a look at his starting offense. Yes, I saw that tweet yesterday. He threw 15. He threw 35 touchdowns in 2015 with the supporting cast that he had, which was tied for the second most in the NFL, only one behind Tom Brady, who led the league. He was not an average quarterback. And Tudo, man, thank you very much. He says, salute, Chris, my Goomba. Drop by your office to pay our respects and slap all the Eagles fans on my way out, Paisano. Forget about it. My man, Tudo. Glad to see you, buddy, man. Hope you're doing well. We were just talking about you, actually, earlier when we were talking about going to the link. I said you're going with a bunch of your Italian buddies, and I told you if that's a big game going in, I'm going to meet you there. So glad to see you, Tudo, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Booker is going to be just as productive as I agree with that. I 100%. I am 1,000. And I listen. Gallman was great last year. I loved Gallman, the Wayne train. It was fun. He's replaceable. I definitely think Booker could do what Wayne Gallman did last year. I have no doubt in my mind. And for people that question about whether or not he can, why didn't anybody sign Gallman? I know he went to the Niners, but he went there for next to nothing, and he's not going to have that big of a role there. So I think Devontae Booker could get the job done. Let's see what we got here. We did get some good ones. Rudolph was a steal. I agree with that. I like the Rudolph contract. I missed the way. Yeah, I think we love the Wayne train, but he was replaceable. And what's up there, Ghost TV? He says, I'm here now. Any Giants news? The big news, obviously, Saquon today, Ghost TV. That's the huge news today. Saquon was back on the practice field today. Cat Daddy, you're the man. Tudo, thank you very much. He says, we've been thrown out and banned from the link so many times for so many years of bullying, harassing, and beating up all the Eagles. Now you got me worried, Tudo. If I go with you guys, are you guys gonna get into a fist fight and I'm gonna get decapitated by an eagle? Well, you guys are big. You told me you guys are big. You got your rugby team, so I'll feel protected. Chris, my man, what's going on? What's going on there? George, man, thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Do you think Kadarius Toney was a good pick? Again, if it was me, I would have taken Slater. I wouldn't have traded down. I would have taken Slater. That's what I would have done. But obviously the Giants feel a lot higher about their lineman that they took 2 years ago than I currently do. They obviously feel Lemieux could be the guy, so on and so forth. So I would have taken Slater. That's what I would have done. After the Giants traded back to 21, I think it was, or 20 or 22, whatever pick it was. I think it was 20. After the Giants traded back and took Kadarius Toney there, I was cool with it. I was like, all right, you just take you already got an incredible package. You got a first-round pick next year from the Chicago Bears, which that in itself, I was very happy. I was thrilled that we got that. Because to me, when you look at the Bears' schedule this year, that could be a top 10 pick. I think it's going to be. So I was cool with the Toney pick. I think Toney brings a different element to this offense. I think he's a compliment to Kenny Golladay. Would it have been my pick? No. But if you watch my reaction video, he was one of the 4 or 5 guys I mentioned. So I was actually higher on Toney than a lot of people. And the proof's in the pudding. You may not know it, but in my Discord, 2 or 3 weeks leading up into the draft, I even went as far to say that I think Kadarius Toney could ultimately, if he's put in the right situation, and I didn't necessarily think the Giants were the ideal situation, could be the best wide receiver in this draft. I was thinking more along the lines of the Saints on the turf with the innovative mind, but he's a very interesting wide receiver with a lot of upside. So I didn't hate the Toney pick. But if it was me, I don't trade back. I take Slater. I would have went offensive line. Let's see what we got here. Do you think the Cowboys are for real? Do you think they are overhyped again? I think the Cowboys are going to have a good offense. If Dak could obviously stay healthy, I think they're going to have a good offense. I think their front seven will be decent. I think their secondary is complete and utter trash. They're going to be starting a rookie corner. I think they're going to get picked apart in terms of throwing the football. If I was a Cowboys fan, that would be my biggest concern going into the year. I think their front seven is decent. I think their secondary is horrible. Their offense, obviously, they have a ton of weapons. And if Dak's healthy, yeah, they're going to be tough to stop. They're going to put up points, but they're going to give up a lot of points too. Hey, Chris, Atlanta, Houston, Detroit, and the Eagles are going to be the worst teams in the NFL. You left off one. Oh, no, you didn't. Never mind. I didn't see. I thought you didn't say Houston, but you did. I would agree with that. I think they're definitely going to be 4 of the bottom 7 or 8 teams in the league. I would agree with that. Tana, how will you do the FanFest tickets giveaway? Yeah, so PJ, what I'm going to do, I just think it's just so somebody gets it that really wants to go. I'm going to follow me on Twitter. If anybody doesn't have a Twitter, if you want to go, follow me on Twitter. I'll post my link right now. So I'm going to be giving away 3 FanFest tickets. Actually, I think it's more now. Somebody else reached out to me, so it might be more. Whatever I have, whatever people are willing to give to other people, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to post it on my Twitter. That's my Twitter there. If you're not following me, right there, you can click the link, hit the follow, hit the notification so you get my tweet when I do it. And I'm going to post that I think it's like 6 FanFest tickets to give away. Anybody that wants them, let me know, and I'll try to set you guys up with the guys that have the tickets. So I think that's what I'm going to do. The Cowboys' offensive line is breaking down badly, and Zeke isn't close to his old self and going backwards. The offense isn't going to be as good as people think. I don't think that's a horrible take, to be honest with you, Mark. I don't think that's a horrible take, to be completely honest with you, that the offense – here's what I think. If I was the Cowboys, this is what I would do, and I think it's what they're going to do. I think most people going into the year think the Cowboys are going to be this high-flying offense and they're going to throw the ball 50 times a game, kind of like they did. I think they're going to scale it back. I think and of course, they're still going to have that ability to air out the football and have big plays with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and all their weapons. I think they're going to be more conservative this year because I think they're going to try to mask that defense. I think the Cowboys are going to try to play more ball control this year because they're going to see how bad that secondary is, and they're going to try to mask that defense. I don't expect Dak to go out there and throw for 5,500 yards. I just don't. I don't think that's winning football for them this year because their defense is not good. I think they're going to scale it back a little bit. And, hey, Dana, what's your take on the Chargers? I actually have the Chargers winning like between 10 and 12 games. I'm high on the Chargers, especially when I looked at their schedule. I think the Chargers are going to be pretty good this year. Chiefs are going to win that division, but I think the Chargers make the playoffs. But apparently Parsons look great in limited action, but their secondary, their secondary is horrible. Big year for Zeke then. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Zeke's going to be the obviously Pollard could be getting touches as well. But yeah, I think they're going to make it a point to run the football more so than they have over the last 2 or 3 years. That's just my prediction. That's what I think they should do. Maybe they won't, but that's what I think they're going to do. Yeah, I didn't know that, Dave, but I actually like the Vikings. I said that earlier in the stream. They're one of my sleeper teams this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs in the NFC, but I didn't know that. Omar says, hey, Chris, I got tickets, but isn't FanFest seats first come, first serve? Yeah, but what if you can't go, which is basically, there's been some of my subscribers that have reached out to me and said, listen, Chris, I can't go. Can you give my tickets to somebody else? You just email it to the person, and then they could use the ticket. So if someone can't go, and there's people that don't have tickets that want to go, it's better that you give it to them to get an opportunity to go to the FanFest. So that's what I'm saying. But to my understanding, I think FanFest is just general admission. I know that you have a seat number on your ticket, but I'm going with my brother, and I got two of my subscribers were nice enough to give me 2 tickets, and I got one from one and one from the other, and they're completely different seats, but they both say general admission, so I think we'll be able to sit together. FanFest is on Wednesday, Zach, and it starts at 6. I'm going to be there at 3, maybe 3:30. I'm going to be doing a tailgate with Talking Giants, which if you probably know them on YouTube. They got a pretty good channel over there with Bobby and Justin, and with License Plate Guy. So we're going to be doing a tailgate. I think it's going to start at 3, and it's going to go to about 6 or 5:30. Whenever the gates open, we'll start heading over there. But they're going to give you guys Bobby set it all up. They're going to have hot dogs, hamburgers. I'm going to bring beer. But yeah, that's going to start at like 3. So I'm looking forward to it. We are beating the Chiefs, Cheese Whiz says. You're on drugs. The gates open at 3. Okay, I'm not going in at 3. I thought the gates open at 6, Lake Nona. The tailgate the gates open at 3, but I don't think the stadium opens till 6, or at least the event doesn't start till 6. Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I phrased that wrong. The gates open at 3. You could drive in at 3, yes. What's going on there, NY Finest, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Chris, in a dynasty rookie draft, what running back outside of Najee Harris would you take inside the top 5? Dalia, I've been doing fantasy football for a long time. That's why I'm not gonna be able to stream the first Giants preseason game. Actually, that is the only day we have a live draft. That's been doing the league for 15 years. That is the only day they could do it, and part of it is going to lap into the Giants game. So I'm just going to tape it and watch the Giants game when I get back. The preseason game with the Jets. To be completely honest with you, I haven't done a ton of research in terms of the rookies. I have to. I haven't done a ton of research on the rookies, but I mean, real quick off the top of my head. I mean, Harris obviously was the big running back this year. You also had, what's his name? The guy that went to Jacksonville from Clemson. Why does the name escape me right now? But I would guess he's going to be the second most sought-after rookie running back this year. He was a first-round pick. Really, highly thought-of college prospect. Why does the name escape me? But he went late in the first round of the Jaguars. I would guess him. Yeah, Travis Etienne. That's right. Travis Etienne. Yep. I would guess him. 4:30. Okay, so it's 4:30. Season ticket holders get in 5 o'clock. Everyone else. Okay. Yeah, I would guess Travis Etienne would probably be the second most with the Jaguars. But they do have another running back over there that did pretty good last year. So I don't know how big his role will be this year. By the way, real quick, for anybody that does do fantasy football, the league that I do, it's a money league. I think it's like $200. I've won 4 times in the last 10 years. It's a keeper league. So basically the way it works, every keeper league is different. But the way this league works is where you could keep a guy up to 3 years, and you get to keep them in the round that you drafted them. So, for instance, I drafted, it's a 2-quarterback league as well. So you start 2 quarterbacks. So it puts more of an emphasis on the quarterback position than a 1-quarterback league. So quarterbacks go in like the first 2 rounds rather than like the 6th, 7th round. I drafted Lamar Jackson in his rookie year in a 2-quarterback league in the 17th round of an 18-round draft. So in a 2-quarterback league, I am going to have Lamar Jackson. This is my last year of keeper eligibility for him. I'm going to have Lamar Jackson in the 17th round. I'm going to have Chase Claypool, who I drafted in the last round last year, in the 18th round. So I have my 17th round pick is going to be Jackson. My 18th round pick is going to be Claypool. And my 10th round pick is going to be the running back from Washington. What's his name? Off the top of my head, I can't remember. He was a rookie last year, had a good year. Those are my 3 keeps. 10th round, him. 18th round, Claypool. 17th round, Jackson in a 2-quarterback league. Tudo, man, thank you very much. If you get a speeding ticket in Philly for the first offense, they give you 2 Eagles tickets for warning, but if you get stopped a second time, they make you use Gibson. That's right, Gibson. Yep, Gibson. Yeah, Gibson's my 10th round pick, and Tudo's always bringing the Eagles jokes. Yeah, Gibson's my 10th round pick. Jackson's my 17th round pick in a 2-quarterback league, and Claypool's my 18th round pick. Those are my 3 keeps. And Delano, what's going on, my man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. He says, salute to everybody in the chat. What's going on in the entertainment talking sports? We're talking Barkley. We're talking Giants. We're just hanging out for a little bit. What time did I start the stream? I don't even remember. 3:40. So we'll probably go for about another 20, 25 minutes, maybe a half hour. I appreciate all you guys for being here, man. I'd say you're in pretty good shape, Chris, in that keeper. Yeah, I like my team, Delia, going in. I've had some other really good keepers in the past. I drafted my best keeper I've ever had in that league over the 15 years. I drafted Antonio Brown the year before he broke out. Like that year that he broke out, I drafted him. And I drafted him in like the 10th round. And then he was like the best fantasy player for like the next 3 years. So I got to keep him in the 10th round for 3 straight years. His first year when they got rid of Holmes and Brown became the number 1 wide receiver in Pittsburgh, I drafted him in like the 10th round. So I got to keep him in that round for like the next 3 years. So that won me like 2 championships. What's going on there, Evan Ingram? Man, thanks for popping in. Thank you for coming in, Evan. Now you can leave. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for being here, Evan, man. I appreciate it, man. Smart man drafted. Yeah, I took him in the last round, but I was under the assumption that this year Claypool was going to have more of an expanded role because I didn't think they were going to keep Juju. That's why I drafted him. But he still had a good rookie year. He had like 9 or 10 touchdowns, and I still think he'll have a good year. Question, Chris. How do you root for your fantasy players when they go against the Giants? I don't. That's the thing I hate about fantasy football is for some people it kind of takes away the game, right? Because, you know, if you have Dak Prescott and he's going against the Giants in the back of your head, you're like, I hope Dak throws 5 touchdowns, but the Giants win. That's not the way I think. The way I think is I want Dak to throw 4 interceptions, and I want the Giants to win. And this week I sacrificed my fantasy team. I always put my team well ahead of my fantasy team, but I know some fans are not that way, and I think that kind of hurts the sport in a way. Let's see what we got here. If Evan has a breakout year, I will jump on ice fully naked. And True Rapper says, Chris, does Faruqi and Faruqi only if you get an injury while it's involved, True Rapper. Only if you get an injury. But outside of that, no. Never watch a football game with dudes that are in like 5 fantasy. Yeah, I'm sure, Emmanuel, for sure. That I used to do like 3, and now I only do 2. I really would only like to do 1, but I only do 2 now because it's just too much. Giants defense ranks so low. How disrespectful in fantasy or real life? What's going on there? Jalen Manning's popping in the stream, buddy. Matter of fact, I drafted Ingram last year in my league. He disappointed me, obviously. I had Ingram on my team last year. And NY Giants 26, man, thank you very much. My team, Tannehill, Chubb. I don't know if it's PPR or not, but regardless, Chubb's good. Michael Carter, that's the rookie running back with the Jets, right? Robinson, McLaurin, that's 2 great wide receivers. Moore's a really good wide receiver as well. Outside of Carter, I really like your team. In a 1-quarterback league, and I do a lot of 2-quarterback leagues, I like to stream the quarterback, and I like to start the quarterback based on the opponent they're going against. I know a lot of people like to get Mahomes, so on and so forth. I would rather draft quarterbacks late and kind of switch them out based on the opponents they're playing and get value at other positions. That's always my strategy in a one quarterback league. But outside of Carter, you got a really good team. Are you going to be tailgating before FanFest? Yeah, Authentic. We're getting there at what's up there, Stephen Torres, man? Thanks for popping the stream. We're getting there at 3:00. Maybe I might be there at like 3:30. But yeah, we're tailgating for about 2.5 hours before we go into FanFest. Yep. And we're gonna have like a show too. I don't think it's gonna be live though. I think it's gonna be pre-recorded. And is this a make or break year for Saquon? Bust or not? Yes, 100% make or break year for Saquon. I mean, okay. Here's what I'll say. I could see a scenario, Diggs, where Saquon has a pretty good year, and then he plays on the fifth-year option, and then that's a make or break year. I could see that, but for the most part, yeah, I think this is Saquon's year to prove whether or not he's going to be a big part of the future of this team going forward. So, yeah, my answer to you is yes. I think it's a make or break year. And I think at the end of this year, I don't see him playing on the on that fifth-year option. I think he's either going to get an extension with the Giants and he's going to prove. Well, here's what I'll say. I could see him playing on the fifth-year option, but if he does, I don't see him in the long-term plans with the Giants. If he's going to be in the long-term plans with the Giants, I see him having a big year this year, and I see him getting that extension in the offseason. So, yeah, I do think it's a put up or shut up year for Saquon. He's got to prove that he's healthy, and he's got to prove that he could carry this offense if he wants to get the big bucks, with the Giants at least. Off topic, been watching the Knicks Summer League. I like Sims was great. I didn't see the game yet today, Delano. I taped it, but Sims looked great yesterday. I think he's got a shot to make the team. Saquon torn ACL, MCL, meniscus, fingers crossed that, yeah. I hope, man. He's my favorite player in the team. What order of positions is good to draft for fantasy? I always go running back or wide receiver early. In a one quarterback, which is what most people do. I don't look at the quarterback early. I go wide receiver or running back. But I usually like to stack up on running backs if I could get them. What's up, Chris? We give them no, Angel. Oh, Angel. I'm gonna just do it on Twitter. That's what I said because I want to make sure it goes to somebody that really wants to go. So I'm just gonna post it on Twitter. Angel's the guy giving it away, by the way. I want to shout him out. And I think somebody else in the stream said they were gonna message me on Twitter too. So I'm gonna give away, I think, 6 tickets to FanFest, but I'm just gonna do it on Twitter. I'm gonna post it on Twitter, and people that want to go, I'll put them in contact with you. We'll figure out, who's gonna get them. So that's what we're gonna do. I did see the new unis. I like them, man. What's up there, Agitator Man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Saquon is back, baby. Stand up. What's going on? How would you stream a Giants Super Bowl? The same way I stream a regular season game? Amazing guy. But yeah, I would definitely stream it 100%, unless I was there. Best available for 4 rounds, then you make sure you have a full starting roster. Yeah, I agree. But usually I attack wide receiver and running back. But yeah, like if Mahomes falls to where he shouldn't, you have to take him. But I usually don't try to target a quarterback early. Tudo, man, thank you very much. The city of Palermo in Italy is a second home to New York Giants. You and Bad Dog are well known in the entire city, especially among all the rugby players. Well, that means if I get into a fight, you guys can back me up. Tudo, my man. Glad to see you, buddy. You need 2 quarterbacks on fantasy for bye weeks. You do. You do. What do you think of Sills? Will you surprise us like Victor Cruz? I'm going to say no. I just don't see the opportunity, unless there's injuries. I just don't really see the opportunity for him to have that kind of impact with this football team. But I hope he makes the team. I'm rooting for him. I know everybody else is. Yeah, Bando's going to the Eagles game with me. We already planned that. He's going to stay the night before. I'll probably do the same thing. I did that last time. I stayed in a hotel the night before. We hung out. We went to a bar the night before, and then obviously we went to the game together the next day. I'll probably do the same thing. And this year, maybe we could organize it better where we could have subscribers get involved, people from out of town or even if people that don't want to stay in a hotel, they can just meet us at a bar the night before, hang out, whatever it may be. But that's the plan this year. Yeah, we're going to do the same thing we did last time, but I want to make it more organized where maybe possibly some of the subscribers are more involved. What's going on there, LA Sportsman? Thanks for popping in the stream. C-Man says, are you excited for football? Am I excited for football? Am I excited for football? Does a bear shit in the woods? Of course I'm excited for football. I wish football was happening right now. Can't wait till it's here, man. I've been thinking about football every day for like the last 2 months. I needed to get here now, my man. Let's see what we got here. What's going on there? Queasy Manix popping in the stream. Chris, if I can't go to FanFest, is water white? Is Fat Baby Funky? Yeah, he's excited about that. Excited. What's up there, Rolly Manix popping in the stream, man? Is the sky blue? It hurts to think about the fact we drafted Thomas at 4 and the Lions get Sewell at 7. I mean, at the end of the day, if Thomas is a really good left tackle for the next 10 years, I'm not going to think about it. I mean, I guess, like, if Thomas ends up being bad, you'll think about it. But if Thomas is really good, in 10 years, you're not going to think about where we took him. Can we get a Kadarius Toney versus Sterling Shepard stat prediction? I think Shepard has the better year if they both stay healthy all year. I think Shepard will be more involved. I'll go about 750 yards for Shepard, maybe 700. 65 catches, something like that. About 12 yards per catch. Slot receiver, 11 yards per catch, about 700 yards. 5 touchdowns in that ballpark. And I said earlier, I think Tony's going to have about 650 combined yards between rushing and receiving. Is the Pope Catholic? I think he is, Mike. For the rest of my life, I have dedicated my life to despise gaming. Cowboys Steelers 7.3 million vote. And Tutto, he says, if you have noticed since the moment everyone found out you and Bad Dog are Italians, your number of subscribers have been skyrocketed. Tudo loves the fact that we're Italians. I'm actually, Tudo, I don't mean to disappoint you. I'm half Italian. I'm not full Italian, but it's the better half. It's this half. It's the better half. But I am half Italian. I'm half Italian. I'm a little bit of Irish, a little bit of German, a little bit of Scottish, a little bit of Spanish. I got a bunch of stuff, but I'm half Italian. Yep, the Lions got to steal with Sewell, by the way. I think Penei Sewell, to be completely honest with you, should have went to the Bengals. Absolutely should have went to the Bengals. I don't know what Cincinnati was thinking. I don't. And I know, people are going to say Jamar Chase, they're going to blah, 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 blah. They just had a quarterback who almost got killed last year. You already had T. Higgins, who you drafted in the back end of the first round the year before. You got Boyd, who's a skilled receiver. You got a good running back with Mixon. You got to block for your quarterback, man. Cincinnati should have 1,000% taken Penei Sewell. I thought it was one of the biggest mistakes. No, not one of. The biggest mistake in the draft this year was Cincinnati not taking Penei Sewell. And Dylan, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, apparently Chase is, he's not. Dylan says, went 13-0 in fantasy last year. Wow. Had Mahomes, Henry, Dobbins, D-Hop. Well, now I see why. Adams. Wow. How the hell did you get that team? Holy crap. That would explain it. Well, there you go, man. I might need to contact you for fantasy advice. Bridgewater or a lock week 1 for the Broncos? I think it'll be – I haven't been following the Broncos closely enough. I should probably look more into that because we're going to be playing them. I'm leaning it'll be lock. Neither one would surprise me, but neither one scares me. I'm leaning lock. I saw highlights, actually, of Lock on Twitter where he was looking pretty good, actually, with the Broncos. So I'm leaning lock. But, again, I don't know who's getting the first-team reps right now, but I think it'll be Drew Lock. And what's going on, Jameson? Glad for being back, buddy. Deshaun Watson's walked off practice today. Really? Huh. That's going to be a storyline all year with Watson. Whether or not they're going to trade him and, so on and so forth. Titans over under 12 wins. I've actually got them. Because I know this because I did my predictions yesterday. I did it for every team. There's like a website where you can put it in for every team. And I was just curious to see where – matter of fact, I have it right here. And again, I don't actually think this is going to happen. It was just wins, loss. I'm going to tell you all the teams that I did it for. It's just wins, loss, wins, loss, wins, loss. So I don't think that these are all going to be completely accurate. But these were my win predictions. Just pull it up real quick. For every team in the league last year. I just got to pull up the picture. It's right around the corner. Here we go. I had the Ravens at 14-3. I had the Browns at 12-5. I had the Steelers at 9-8. I had Cincinnati at 4-13. I had Tennessee at 12-5. So right on your number. I had the Colts at 7-10 because I think they're going to get off to a rocky start with Wentz at quarterback. Now, looking at this, I probably would have the Colts better than that. But again, I don't get to look at every team's schedule. I actually had the Colts at 5-1 in the division, but 7-10 overall. They're probably more of a 9 or an 8 win team for me, but I had them at 7-10. I had the Jaguars at 3-14, and I had the Texans at 1-16. I don't know if they're going to be that bad, but that's what I had. I had the Packers at 12-5. I had the Vikings at 9-8, getting the last wild card. I had the Bears at 4-13, which I don't think they're going to be that bad. I think they're more like a 6-win team, but that's what I had. I had the Lions at 0-17. That I don't think will happen. I think they'll win at least 2 or 3 games. I had the Bucks at 14-3. I had the Saints at 10-7. I had the Panthers at 9-8. I had the Falcons at 5-12. Then the rest of the divisions. I had the Bills at 11-5 winning the East. I had the Patriots at 10-6. I had the Dolphins at 8-9. And I had the Jets at 4-13. I had the Chiefs at 15-2. I had the Chargers at 12-5. I had the Broncos at 8-9. And I had the Raiders at 5-12. I had the Giants at 10-7. I had the Cowboys at 9-8. I had Washington at 7-10, which I don't think they'll be, but that's what I had. And I had the Eagles at 4-13. And then in the West, I had the 49ers and the Rams both tied at 13-4 apiece. I had the Seahawks at 9-8, and I had the Cardinals at 8-9. That was my predictions. Tudo, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, we're all known as Italian New York Giants Special Task Forces at MetLife, but all the Eagles fans call us New York Giants Demolition Crew at the link. There you go, my man. So there you go. Those are my predictions. But again, they're a little bit off. Those are just quick wins, loss. I obviously don't think the Lions are going to go on 17. I think they'll be like a 3-win team. Thoughts on the new? I like them. They look sharp. I mean, they don't look that much different. There's small alterations, but I agree. Who knows? It's fun. It is silly. It's throwing darts at a board. Football is the most unpredictable game, but that's just what I had. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. That's what I had. It's just fun. You mean 14-3? Give us one more dub, Benjamin. Says. I have the Eagles at 0-17. I had them at 4 wins. I think they're going to be between 4 and 7 wins, the Eagles. I did not hear about the Ryan Anderson news. What happened with Ryan Anderson? The edge rusher that we picked up from you guys. What happened with him? Dallas Maverick superstar Luka has agreed to 5 years, 207. I mean, you knew it was coming. So I'm not too surprised by that, sports. That was inevitable. They were going to max him up. They should have changed the uniforms completely. Our jersey, yeah, Rolly. It seems like a lot of Giants fans don't like the jerseys, man. Max says, "Time to eat. Glad to catch your stream. We will plan something for sure. Have to meet up. So yeah, man. I'm gonna eat soon too. What time is it? It's I'm gonna eat soon too, actually. So I'm gonna end the stream in like 5 minutes. But Max, man, you enjoy your dinner, man. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna close the stream out in like 5 minutes. I appreciate all you guys for being. I always have fun hanging out with you guys, talking football with you guys. I appreciate all you guys for being here. There was some big news today. I wanted to come on, wanted to talk about giving away the FanFest tickets, wanted to talk about Saquon Barkley. Figured it'd be better just to go live because I know people be excited about it rather than make a video on it. So I appreciate all the support you guys always show. Always have so much fun talking Giants football with you guys. Dylan says, he just said it. Luka got the Supermax extension, 5 years, 207. I mean, you knew it was coming. It was inevitable. So congratulations to him. Fake news. Ryan Anderson did not get cut. I'd be surprised if he did. I think he's going to make the team. Can out-of-state people go to FanFest? Yeah, why not? Oh, you mean because of COVID, perhaps? But yeah, as far as I know, yeah. I mean, I'm out of state. It's in New Jersey. I'm coming from New York, so they better be able to. Hey, Chris, what's the best source to get updated news on what's going on in Giants training camp? I mean, if you want to get it quick, Stanley, I think Twitter. I think Twitter, if you follow the beat reporters, Any one of them, they post it, whether it be Jordan Renan, whether it be Art Stapleton, whoever. I think that's the best way to get it up, as quickly as possible. What Ryan Anderson did get cut. I'll look it up after the fact, Sports Influencer, because some people are saying it's fake, some people are saying it's not. Please don't. Yes, Tuto. I gotta remember to do that. I forgot about that. One of my streams coming up, I'm gonna make it a point to get an Italian flag in the background for you, man. 5 minutes ago. Okay, so we did get cut. Hold on, let me look. That's a bit of a surprise for me. I thought he'd make the. It's not like a shocker, but I thought he'd make the team. That's a bit of a surprise for me. I don't see anything. The last thing I see from Renan was 3 hours ago. It was 3 hours ago, so I don't think it's Renan. What if the Giants get a top 8 pick from the Bears? What do you see as draft? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen this year. Is Jones great? Is Jones horrible? If Jones is atrocious, I think it's a quarterback. If Jones is good and we're not going quarterback, I think we're going edge or offensive line. I think those are our two most obvious needs right now. But of course, if there's a player that blows you away, you could take him regardless of what his position is. Ryan Anderson did not get cut. Okay. I don't know. I'll all right. Dan Duggan tweeted it. Let me see. It is true. That just came out 44 seconds ago. That is true. He's obviously a very good source. Somebody asked me earlier what Giant beat reporters I like. He's one of them. That's true. It happened. The Giants waived linebacker Ryan Anderson, according to the transaction report. Veteran linebacker was expected to compete for a role on the edge, but he never got on the field for the Giants. He missed the first 2 weeks of camp with a back injury. So Ryan Anderson will not be making the team. Ryan Anderson has been cut by the New York Giants. So a little bit of a surprise. I thought he'd make the team, but obviously he wasn't a lock. But he has been cut. Yep, he was cut. So Ryan Anderson will not be with the New York Giants this year. He will be cut. And it sounds like it was because he couldn't, he had the injury early on. Yeah, Ross had an injury today. It didn't sound too serious, Isaiah, but I think it's one of those things that we got to wait a couple of days, to see how serious it may be. I think it was a hamstring thing today, but they said he didn't even go to the training facility. He just stopped practicing at the end. But I'll read more on it today, and we'll see where that goes. But didn't sound too serious. Giants week 1 thoughts. I think it's a must-win game, and I think we're going to win. I think it's a must-win game. I hate to say that week 1. I think it's a must-win game. And I think we will. I think we'll win. No, nothing to apologize about, Matthew. Oh, my God. Sorry you guys got to see that. I can't believe somebody comes in and types that. Hold on. I don't know why it's not letting me block the guy. Hold on. There we go. I put him in timeout. It's not letting me block him for some reason. It allowed me to put him in timeout, but guys, I am going to close this stream out. Sorry for that, for everybody that saw that in the chat. You have a lot of scumbags in the world. Yeah, but let me give out a couple of mods, and I'll do it next stream. I'll make sure I have more mods. I don't know if they could do it or not, but sorry about that, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, it looks like he's a hacker of some kind. So whatever. Sorry to anybody that had to read that. But guys, have a good one, guys. I had a lot of fun. Looking forward to talking a lot more Giants with you guys. Wednesday, I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you guys. I was ending it anyway, guys, so I'm not ending it because of that. I was ending it anyway. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you guys, hopefully at the Giants training camp or the Fan Fest, and hopefully I get to meet a lot of you guys and we have a lot of fun. But I was like I said, I said I was ending in 5 minutes anyway. It has nothing to do with that guy. So, but I apologize to anybody that read that was offended. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk soon.